everybody, gamers, fantasy lovers, and adventurers at heart. My name is Colton Wagner, and this is Dawn World, a group of friends who, like yourselves, enjoy epic adventures, fantasy stories, and have a love for tabletop role-playing games. I don't have any announcements for this week, other than if you haven't seen our previous episode, make sure to check out that episode. But other than that, let's jump into this week's episode of Dawn World. Alright, so last time, Kindred spent some time in the frozen ruins of the city of Khazad Zar, exploring more of the city, and found themselves going down a secret passageway built into the mountain, and that led into a slide that they ventured down and found themselves in a ruin of some sort, way underground, but not frozen over like up above. And upon exploring, they also found a large gate, and they found that there was a large city, lively city of dwarves down here, far beneath the mountain here in Dragon's Reach. And they did get a small glimpse of this beforehand, well, through Festus going down a pipe of sorts, or an exhaust pipe of sorts, and coming out the other side and seeing a different part of the city, if you will, different from where the party ended up coming out at, down the slide. But they managed to persuade their way into the city and into a different section of the city, which they found out through entering the second section of the city here, that each section is blocked off from each other and they don't really get along all that well. Some get along with others and some don't really get along very well with other sections of the city, and each kind of roll themselves locally and have their own desires and their own motives and things like that. And yeah, but that is where we ended last session, with the party talking to their guide of sorts that kind of allowed them into the middle section of the city here. And they said that they wanted to go and speak to an older dwarf or a sage or an elder that may have more information about what happened and how the city got down here and why it is the way it is, and why are there puppets or mannequins up top, and all sorts of questions that the party is looking to get answers for. But that is where we pick up today. So, you guys are led by this dwarf through the middle section here. And if you look at your maps there, you'll see that there's a large amphitheater there on the part 1 section. And you cross over, actually across the bridge that's up above the amphitheater. And then he brings you down along the stream there and brings you on the opposite side of the stream of where the amphitheater is. And you can actually look over and see the amphitheater there. Nothing's currently going on in the amphitheater, but they have a nice like backdrop and everything with the stream there and the city in the background for those looking on for plays and things like that going on in the amphitheater. But he leads you down the main thoroughfare there, the street that is leading towards section 4, and gets pretty much to where the hallway is there that leads into section 4, but then leads you up along the wall there and leads you back into the back corner that is pretty much all the way to the north and west corner, if that makes sense.
Up here?
Yep. And leads you to a house and knocks on the door. It takes a few moments for there to be a response, and you hear an elderly response on the other side of the door. Give me a minute. Just give me a minute. And you hear a couple shuffled footfalls coming from above and making their way down the steps inside and then to the door, and you hear a latch unlock as if like a deadbolt type of thing, and the door opens and you see a elderly looking dwarf standing there in the doorway. What can I do for you?
The name of the dwarf that led us here.
You didn't get a name for him last time.
From Old Chuckles?
Yeah, you did not.
Okay, all right. For those who would like to speak up, may speak up now.
I'm busy.
Okay. Your Lordship Raylog, would you like to speak at this encounter?
No, you can. I think.
Everyone's busy. Okay.
What?
I said everyone seems to be busy. Unless you want to jump in, Cara. Yeah.
I don't think I have the answer to this question.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, hello. This fine gentleman led us to your house. We are looking for knowledge and asked if there's a patron or a sage of history of your people here, and we are looking for historical and information and knowledge from your people, and we would like to question and find answers to questions.
Well, certainly I can try to answer whatever questions you might have. Please, where are my manners? And he opens the door and motions in for you to come in and enter into his home, and kind of waits for all of you to enter in. And
Okay. I mentioned we as a group we are called Kindred, and I say that in Dwarven. I wasn't speaking in Dwarven. So.
It's very nice to meet all of you. I can't say I've seen anyone like you in
We are travelers.
some time. Only really see dwarves nowadays. Really, almost as long as I can remember. It's been a long time since we've had visitors in the city.
Do you have a time of your recollection? You say a long time. Is there a measurement of time that you gauge this experience by?
By my recollection, probably be at least a century or so that we've had someone wander down here.
So have you been up top at the other Khazad city above?
Not since we found ourselves down here.
But you have been up there.
Oh yes,
Oh.
years ago. But yes.
Over 1,000 years ago. I guess our first main question, because those who are still on the surface are under the impression that your people were chased out of the city by a white dragon.
Yes, that was the story that my people told everyone.
Yes.
That was the story that was spread far and wide. And at this point, he's like going over and grabbing some things in the kitchen to get either drinks for you all or get a cup of tea.
You have any orange juice?
No, we don't have any oranges that grow down this far underground. It's kind of sad, really.
It is.
I haven't had orange juice, and you can see like he starts to like
It's
lick his lips
froth.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. But I do have some tea if anybody is interested in tea.
Very hospitable. I would like to have some tea.
And he goes around and starts pulling out different types of leaves off of this plant that's hanging from one of his cabinets, and starts picking some of the leaves there and putting them into a cup, and then he ends up setting a kettle. There's a little fireplace there, and he ends up setting the kettle over there with some water and waits for that to boil, but comes back
Okay.
and continues talking with you as that is
Okay.
Yes, the story of the dragon was a story that the city spread far and wide.
Chose.
Was not something that everybody agreed with.
Mhm.
There was some that did not wish to leave the sight or the view of the above world, especially under the pretense of a lie. But the majority didn't care or just went along with it.
Mhm.
And the story was spread, and like I said, not many people have found their way down here, and since very few. Nobody even ventures, at least my understanding, even to this region anymore.
Wasn't easy.
And that was the point. People didn't want anyone else. The leaders didn't want anyone else poking around. It was mainly and he points like in the direction like of the city where you guys first entered the city into the noble quarter.
The snob people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they were more of the folks that wanted to spread the story and then leave the view of the above world. There was not really any talk of spreading this story until after we found it. A century ago, when the city decided to
put together this story and to leave the view of the above world, we had stumbled upon a new material, a new mining material that could be fashioned into armored weapons, and it was stronger and more versatile than anything we'd ever encountered before. Now, those of us, the normal folk of the city, didn't care much if the outside world knew, but those in power wished to keep it for themselves and thought that maybe it would bring ruin if anybody on the outside world learned of our discovery. It was shortly, well, compared to centuries, it was short, but it was not, or compared to,
What would a thousand's what? Millennium?
Eon.
Millennium? Is that
Millennium
a
is
thousand?
Millennium?
1,000
Yeah.
because centuries. Are
Yeah. So,
So it's an eon. Eon.
Eon, I think, is beyond that. Millennium's
well, yeah, eon would be beyond that. I don't know.
I forget.
Numerically, will it be?
Thousands.
Okay.
in comparison
Maybe it's
to
10,000.
millennium,
Yeah.
a century or two is
Peanuts.
a short time. But it was a few centuries after the discovery
Mm.
of this material where we were actually attacked by a white dragon. However, we were able to fend off the dragon, but that gave precedent or enough of the story and gave enough evidence of an attack for what those that wanted to remove themselves from the outside world and go into hiding. It gave them what they needed in order to sell the story, I guess you could say.
There are some frost giants that live on the outside of the ruins up top. And they mentioned that hundreds of years ago that there were two individuals that warned them about a white dragon that went into the city. I think one was an elf and one was a dwarf. Do you know from who these two individuals are that might have warned the frost giants who were living in one of your cities on the outside edge of the mountain as messengers to warn them to not to venture into the evacuated city?
I can't say that I know who these two individuals are. Do you have any description of other than elf and wolf or what they might look like?
It was a long time
We
ago,
don't really
it
have any
per se,
elves
yeah.
in the city
Yes.
down here, at least to my knowledge. It could have changed as of late, and I'm sure Yurvar has probably told you that the other sections don't really
Mesh,
communicate or talk to each other all that often.
which is sad.
So there could be an elf, possibly, in another section of the city. But as far as I'm aware, in this section there is none.
Since it sounds like there might have been others who have heard, and they might have, on their own volition, came to warn others. Maybe not from your district, but maybe from an outside source.
It could be that there's a elf, dwarf companion that ventured this way after the story spread. I Are you familiar with the hierarchy of Syndaxia itself?
That would be a no.
Pretty much any dwarf that is, such as myself, not older, but of the race that I am, and dark elves. They are the only ones, really, that hold power in Syndaxia. Everyone else is
Lesser.
looked down upon
Okay.
as lesser beings, in a sense.
Yes, we ran into some of that on our trek to come to the mountains. Yes. We had to be secret.
It was a little different in Khazad Zar, even centuries ago. We had a sense of freedom that we had, that the rest of the continent, or not continent, the rest of the country did not have.
Hmm.
Mainly because of our resources, we were
Trade.
given that freedom.
Luxury.
But not all cities and towns and villages are as we were, or still are.
So you say the dragon did come. Do you know?
There was a dragon, yes.
Do you
There was
know-
an attack.
Do you know why the dragon's motivation came to attack
Well,
your people?
our city was very wealthy. It was known for its wealth. As you can imagine, with all the trade that we were known for and that gave us the freedoms that we enjoyed, also came great wealth with all of the resources and trade that we were doing. Dragons are drawn to wealth and shine anything really that shines. And I can imagine that the draw, or maybe the whispers of a city happening upon a new resource that is rare probably did not help either.
So you feel that did have the knowledge of your new discovery at that time.
I feel like if it was not for the fact that we found this material, we probably would have met our demise to that dragon. But I feel like because we had time to learn and utilize the material, we were able to fend off the dragon with minimal casualties.
Hmm. Okay. You mentioned that you fended off the dragon. What did you do with the dragon when you were done with the dragon?
It fled. We did not kill it.
Oh, so you defeated it, but you didn't kill it.
Correct.
I see.
It fled the city, and we did not pursue it. Where it went afterwards, not sure. We have not encountered it since our descent into where we are now.
Did after the dragon left, did some people put illusions in certain parts of the ruins as you were leaving to hide certain areas of the living areas to protect or anything?
Illusions, no. The only illusions that were set up, or things set up to portray a certain scene, if you will, was the props that we placed up above in the above city.
Mannequins.
Yes, those. That is the only type of illusion that the city set for itself.
Nothing supernatural for
No.
empowerments or anything.
Not that I am aware of.
Okay. All right. And the mannequins that you put up were the illusion to show that it was still inhabited?
It was to sell the story that there was an attack and there were casualties. And if someone walks into a ruin and sees that there's just bodies strewn about,
Red flag?
yes, very much so.
Okay.
That was the idea that they were looking for.
We did see many of those, and many of them looked very exteriorly convincing of them being victims. They were. But that was their main purpose.
Yes.
While people lived up in the upper area, did you guys ever encounter creatures that would try to invade your kingdom from the ground or through the gates?
Not since. It was only shortly after our descent down here, and the evacuation of the above city. It was centuries after that we began to encounter a burrowing insect of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a long time since we've encountered one, but that was the only thing that we encountered that was unusual.
Mm.
When we were living in the above city, we did not encounter those. So something has changed in the above city that has drawn this creature to this region.
Mm. The above city is a frozen wasteland right now. We only felt some heat from your lower furnaces that were connected to the other furnaces in the upper chamber for exhaust points of the heat. But most 90% of the up city is frost covered, frozen. I assume because of the white dragon at the time that fought, there are ice spires into the ground where apparently it used its mighty breath. We also found warriors that were still frozen in the ice. It's still cold up there. We relieved some of them from their icy grave to investigate to see who they were, things like that. Do you have the names of some of these warriors who fought the dragon that were by what we understand was a temple?
So you're saying that the city is frozen over?
Yes,
Above?
completely.
Like an iceberg.
And it's just the city?
Oh, well, in the city is frozen, but out the whole mountain area is all blizzard, winter constantly. Except somebody put a device supernaturally that protects the entrance of the city from direct weather for about 2 miles or so.
You
Don't-
can see that he's a little confused on why the city is frozen over
Mhm.
and why the region is frozen over.
Mhm.
It's strange. The region was not that way when we left it.
On the tunnels coming towards your gate down here, it did warm up. There were some areas through the caverns we realized there were some parts of the rock that actually had frost coming out from the rock that was being thawed off from the warmth of your tunnels here. But it seemed to be like a perimeter of this coldness that wants to keep emulating towards this direction. But the warmth of your city in the lower section level was warm enough to keep that from spreading, apparently. And that was coming from the gate from the rich side that goes out, from the noble side.
It's strange. I know nothing that can spread a wide berth of frozen wasteland.
I've heard of strengths of certain creatures. A white dragon that can breathe ice.
Yes, I can imagine like, if a dragon stays in an area long enough, but for that much of an area is astounding to me. It must be being amplified
Yes.
in some way.
Yes, I was about to ask you if you knew of any.
Well, as he's like talking
Yeah.
through this with you, you hear him say that, and then like you see like a little like a look of like a light bulb
Ding.
like cling on,
Yeah.
clip on, and it's like,
Oh. Perhaps the dragon did not leave the mountains at all. Perhaps he found a home somewhere else in the mountains.
To take refuge.
And perhaps his home is also contains some of this material that we found.
Are these the only towns that are here? Now, there's 2 towns outside of the main gate on the upper side. And then there's the entrance of the gate into the first city that you guys fled. Those first 2 dwarven towns, I think, were on the outsides of the main gate.
yeah.
One of them is the one that we mentioned that these frost giants are resounding now, because nobody's there. So the other town, we ran across some evil undead creature that apparently ravaged the town, attacked it, had very long fingers and was bony, skeletal, and it enslaved the townspeople's spirits and used their energy for itself. And we slayed the creature, and we were able to help the spirits of the townspeople to be relieved to go be free. I didn't know if you had a history or knowledge of these people of that town that were plagued by this creature.
I don't have any recollection of a creature like that inhabiting one of the villages outside of the city. And we had a good relationship with those villages. They were kind of left to on their own when we decided to descend, but now I have no recollection of this creature or what he would want or what it would want with the village or its people.
It had its own personal evil reason why it did what it did with the people. But it also mentioned to us that it would go try to sneak its way into the main city and search for something. What that was, we don't know. But what you're telling us, it could have been your discovery of the material many years ago you found, and somebody sent this undead creature to look for them for possibly your secret.
You mentioned that there was a device that
Yes.
was brought to the mountain.
Yes. It is
Could
still
this
there.
creature have created that?
No.
Set there?
No. I think possibly that dwarf and the elf did. These frost giants kind of mentioned that they came and mentioned not to go in, and just soon after that, this device popped up.
Faven made that.
Yeah. So, can we just ask him? Do you know an individual named Fabian?
No, can't say that I do.
It's probably better that you didn't. He is an evil person.
Could this creature be a underling of some sort for this Faven?
Yes, I think you're correct. Yes.
So perhaps this Faven is looking for something in the above city?
Yes, and that's what drew us over there partly. I mean, we still seek knowledge and things like that, but on the side we would see if whatever was drawing this creature to look for an evil person, for an item or a book, we don't know. We thought we'd check it out. But also the story of the dragon compelled us also. And also for them to tell the frost giants don't go in, or you'll feel the wrath in anger of the dragon to come out. And so we thought we'd go in stealthily. We have run into what you have seen, the insectoid creature that breathes fire. We did defeat one of those. It wasn't fun, but we did. And there were some other lizard, hairy dog creatures, nasogs, something like that. We had to
Nagumba.
yeah.
The thingies.
Centipra.
Yeah, we had to dispose a couple of there's still some of them in there. We're not here to clean house. We're here to protect ourselves and get experience points and loot. So, but the idea here is we're trying to get to the bottom of why you guys came down here. Now we're understanding to protect what you guys discovered, which also protected you in time of peril, which is very good. But it is sad to see that your groups are separate and don't enjoy the same luxuries as everyone else for the safety and the well-being of your discovery. But that's your culture. It's not ours.
That's your choice.
Yeah, it is. We're not digging into that more than what we should. But since my general question is, there are no other settlements of dwarves in these mountains that you know of, that maybe this dragon might have flew up and took over and might reside now?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. There's not like the lost tribe somewhere. Okay, all right. So this is pretty much who's accounted for here
His
and those who
idea
down.
is thinking that a dragon flew off and ended up making its home somewhere else in the mountain, and
Right.
this home just happened to be also sitting on or in a pocket of the material that they
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
discovered,
Mm-hmm.
and that this material is amplifying
Right.
the effects of the dragon,
Yeah.
essentially.
All right. Did we identify that stuff that was the green material? It was like imbumonite.
No. Or, yeah, I think you did.
I think we did.
Yeah. That was, you got the name Ethereum from it, and
Because that's back here probably.
I think it was just that, and that there wasn't any empowerment attached to it.
That was raw.
Yeah, it was just a natural empowered substance.
Yeah.
Similar to Humanite, but this was a metal.
Yeah. Okay.
And it worked.
Okay. Back to the temple area in section number 1. Like I mentioned, that there were some of those who fought and overcame, made the dragon leave, defeated it. Do you have written recollection of who these people were?
I don't remember anybody
thinking in the back of his mind, trying to like remember that far back, like specific names.
Yeah. It's not written down.
It takes a minute, but he then responds with,
Corin had a group that he had taken under his wing, if you will, and they were
Really?
defenders of the city, but also separate, and not like city guards, if you understand what I mean.
They were warriors.
They were very instrumental with the defense of the city during the dragon attack. Unfortunately, most of them fell. Actually, I think all of them fell except for Corin himself survived the attack. It was through their sacrifice that they were able to.
what's the right word?
They diverted or
No, like distract. Like
distract? Yeah, that's good.
Like,
They bought him time.
yeah, like that kind of thing. Like, specific word I'm looking for.
On plumb all words.
Well, essentially, like distract and
Yeah.
to
Like a decoy.
Like the dragon was focused on them
Mhm.
versus the rest of the city, which allowed them to rally.
Yeah.
and to end up defending the city and whatnot.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. In Corn, I suppose, has passed away since then.
Yes, Corin is no longer with us. However, his grandchild, Brulden, is the priest at the temple.
And we spell it
BRUL
B-R-U-L
DIN. Brolden.
B-R-U-L.
DIN.
Brulden. And they're related how again?
His grandson.
The priest of the temple is the grandchild of Corin.
Grandchild of the priest of the temple?
That would have been the priest of the
Grandson of
temple
Corn.
way back when the dragon attacked. Corin was the priest of the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, not asking.
This is his grandchild.
Grandchild of who would have been the priest.
Corn.
And
Right.
he is the current priest of the temple.
Mhm.
Brolden is.
Okay.
Whew, we got there eventually.
It's not how you play the game. It's the trek. Why you play the game.
We looked at it from all 5 angles.
Frenzy made a
Yeah.
walk away.
We looked at it from all 5 angles before we got to one end. But we got there.
Okay. Well, I am also, I am a cleric. I have not reached priest yet, but I am a cleric. And he seems to me to be as a kindred spirit. I too sometimes have the fire in my belly to fight and to eliminate those who do injustice against those who are weaker, and in the name of the Creator.
Well, perhaps it would be good for you to visit the Brolden. He might have more information on who those individuals were. They do have historic records there in the temple.
Mm.
At least anything that hasn't been absconded. The temple is kind of its own entity, if you will, within the city.
Separation of church and state.
Mainly because not everyone agrees with having the temple in the city.
Yes.
But Corin was, despite what many back then would have said, no one could speak ill of his character or of Corin.
Good reputation.
They may not have agreed with him in a lot of different areas, but he was respected. His entire kit is respected. It is because of that that no one really presses the matter, and the temple is kind of its own thing within the city.
May I ask, are you a believer of the Creator?
I believe that there is something out there. There's got to be some power out there, but what it is, I can't say that I have solidified that in my mind yet.
I thank you for opening
I have
up.
listened to several sermons there at the temple over the years, and it's comforting and it's enlightening, and it makes a lot of sense of what they teach. I just don't feel like I'm at that place yet to completely surrender over to say that that's what I want to do. Perhaps one day I will, I don't know.
Well, the essence of good and evil is understood more clearly through the eyes of the Creator. He is the giver of all that's good and helps those who wish to fight evil and wishes to have relationships in good ways to be able to further the cause of those who wish to do good. And I'm very glad that you would open up and be cordial and talk
I try
about
to
that.
keep an open mind. It's difficult as well to feel while you're at the temple, you feel so separated from just everything, and then you leave and you find yourself back on the
It's all
streets
back.
of the city, and everything is back to the way it was before.
And drowns you out.
Yeah.
There is peace at times to be able to be obtained once feeling of the atmosphere of the Creator. Yes. Focus.
Can't say I understand the whole reason behind why Corin and his kin have decided to make their home here in the city, and over the years have put up with all of the decisions made by the hierarchy of the city and the nobles of the city, but they continue to serve the city however they can and are a influence in the city each generation. Corin was one of the most outspoken individuals against the deception to the outside world, and even went as far as speaking on the streets, the corners of the streets, saying that the Creator would protect us and that we didn't need to hide and that there was no need for us to deceive the outside world. For many, it fell on deaf ears, or they were just indifferent to it. And even despite that, him and his descendants continue to remain in the city and preach and help those in need, and are better people than I am, I can tell you that. Don't think I could put up with something that long.
Don't think that he could have done that through his own strength. He also finds strength in the Creator.
You have a point.
It sounds like he was a very good ambassador for the Creator. If he was to keep his mouth closed, he wouldn't be able to speak truth and be an ambassador for the Creator. And if he removed himself, again, he wouldn't be a representative, an ambassador for those down here who need that extra light in their life. So he is a very good servant to the Creator.
And all these things that you have said is, again, why him and his kin have been respected through generation after generation.
Mm.
And why they have been allotted that freedom that they are given. Despite a number not agreeing with them being present or wishing them to just leave.
Mm.
But
Well,
still they remain.
Just because there's numbers against you doesn't make them right.
That is true. I can't say that I agree with the decision that was made for us to leave the above city and the view of the outside world, but here we are.
And here we are. Is there drawings or recollection of what the white dragon looked like? Did he wear armor? Did he have certain talons, or did he wear a crown? Did he have a personality that would stand out, that the scribes would write about what the dragon, his persona was?
That information is, we do have records of it. Paintings, I'm sure, I mean, if anything, they would probably be located in this section of the city. This is a section of the city for arts, for the arts, and learning.
Yes.
If anybody did have any sort of depiction of this creature, this dragon, more than likely it probably resides in this section where I don't know. I can't say that I've ever seen one.
There you go.
As for written down records, I'm sure the temple probably has them.
Okay. Does anyone else have any more questions or observations?
Kevin? Anything from you guys? Hello?
At the moment, no.
Okay.
He's trying not to laugh at my old geezer sounding voice.
I mean, we got some good pertinent information. Verify it was a ruse, but on top of that, the dragon wasn't defeated. It didn't stay, and it seems to be emulating its frostiness from another location, close enough for everyone to feel the effects, but not close enough to say, ooh, there you are. And the reasons why they bugged out, it's either greed or greed. But that's their business. We're not here to change their system. Everyone seems to be snuggled down in their own departments. Unless Kara goes, no, flashback, Whetstone. That's up to her. I doubt it. So, and who spread, the story? He has no idea, the elf and the dwarf. He was a little confused with the coldness, and the item that's keeping the snow in the front gate, puzzling but not over worried. So like he was like, oh, I want to see that. That looks, So he's not motivated to care enough to say, why would someone do that at our old front gate? So I didn't follow up on that. I could say, yeah, we'll bring you up there. Ooh, I don't know. So he is an old fella. He's over 1,000 years old. So, I didn't know if I wanted to show him some items that we got, but it really wouldn't do any good. Maybe at the temple. So, what about, could we be escorted then to the temple then?
Yes, I'm sure that Urva can lead you to The town.
Herval.
Urvar. Urvar. Urvar.
Okay. I don't know what this is then. Okay. I must have been like other people writing just letters down and said it's a word. So, Urvar. Yes. That would be very beneficial. But yes, we would like to come back maybe and see if you could locate some of that art. That we could see paintings and stuff maybe of the dragon.
So you want to look around the city?
I didn't know if he would
Urvar?
not Urvar, the old guy. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't get a name for him.
No. He let us in and hypothetically we'll say we drank his tea. Yeah.
His name is Adgus. Adgus. And he wasn't alive for all this stuff. He just is one of the older dwarves alive in the city that happen to know what happened, or at least have some knowledge on it.
Okay.
And you are within the part of the city that is also the center of learning for the city.
Right.
So this is kind of where
This is
all
the
of that
epicenter,
information and
yeah.
history and all that kind of stuff would be circulated.
Okay. All right. So, Urvar, since you're a very happy and jolly fellow, would you pretty please be able to escort us over to the temple land?
Of course, let's get on our way. So you guys end up heading to across, down
Number 9.
south, and then down to number 9. Yep.
Number 9. Yep.
And then crossing the southern section of the stream there.
Oh, wait. As we get going, what's at number 4? Is that where we came from?
No. You guys came down the slide at section 10, and then you.
Then we went through the
little
okay.
walkway there and entered into 7, which is the nobility section,
And then down into 1.
and then down into 1.
Okay. All right. So what's 4?
You have not gotten there.
Well, while we're going down, I see the gate over to the right, as in we're going down south. Gonna ask Urvar.
That is the palace for the king.
Oh,
He's got his own little section of the city, I guess you could say.
that's special. Does anyone go there?
Occasionally. I mean, they do take food and such.
I was gonna say, do they
there,
slide it under the door?
And each section of the city does have members of the city that, like, if you think that the nobility section is going to work for other nobles, you have another thing coming. So all of their servants and everything have to come from another section of the city and go there to work at the noble's house to take care of them every day.
They sound almost like pets.
It kind of does, doesn't it? But the same goes for the king as well. Any servants that he has to come and go to that section of the city, along with any food that needs to be brought from the food quarter and everything like that. Yes, all of that ends up being dispersed to each section of the city, and that is how we sort of have inner city trading, as it were.
So that's how your financial ecosystem is.
It is kind of like a barter system in a sense. However, all the wealth that is within the city came originally from either the nobility section or the king.
So they have a mint?
Essentially, yes. That's why they have all the power.
So if someone else wanted to mint their own stuff and not use theirs, I guess they wouldn't have any power.
He just has this really like blank look of like, what? Oh wait, what?
Say what?
You're not the only one who can be silly.
Yeah, he has no idea. He just kind of blew his mind there for a minute. Yeah, the only monetary, any kind of money or wealth or anything came from either the king or the nobility section there.
Mm-hmm.
So
it gives them the
any
corner
money-
market.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they really have the corner of the market
Yep.
for really everything.
Yep. It's like in Star Trek. You know, we don't use it. You know, or Star Wars. Credits don't reach this far out into the zone or whatever, so it's worthless here or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, same thing here. If you cut them out, whatever. We have the majority. We made our own currency. You guys are out. That would stink. Okay. All right, I'm done plucking his brain. All right, let's go to the temple.
Okay. So you make your way to the temple and head on in. There are a few people in there that are dressed
I hope so.
differently for what you are accustomed to for priestly garb, but nonetheless, there are several dwarves in there that are tending to several individuals, either
Mhm.
having in mid-conversation with them and discussing a matter.
Okay.
The layout of the temple is certainly different than what you are used to as well. There is no immediate, evident front desk for you to just walk up and
Yeah,
"Hi, we're
register in
Kindred,
and
we're
everything.
here,
Yeah,
da, da, da."
yeah.
It's laid out a lot very similar to the underwater temple that you guys found on Aquarius,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just a big hall of sorts
Yeah.
when you first walk in,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's offshoots for different
Yeah.
sections of.
In the center, does it have a stepway with an altar on it?
There is an altar farther into the chamber, in the center, and on the floor as you are walking, you can see that there's something inlaid in this shiny silver metallic look. Kind of looks similar to platinum, but not platinum.
Mm-hmm.
That is outlined in a shape
It's
that
a special metal.
kind of goes pretty much almost the entire chamber,
Mm-hmm.
goes around it. Just taking a minute to observe the shapes of what it kind of looks like. It looks like it's just a massive sun
Mm-hmm.
that is imprinted on the floor. And then, like I said, there's the altar at the far end. It is not right against the wall, but it is alongside the front of the wall. There's
Okay.
no statue or anything like the
Elves.
elves
Yeah,
had.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But along in between pillars and stuff that are here for the temple as well, there's benches and whatnot which some folks are sitting on and having conversation with. It's very what we think of for the temples for the Greeks and Romans, how it's just very open and
Yeah,
you
that's
just
where I was
have,
going.
like sitting stations
Yeah.
and things like that. It's very much set up kind of that way, but the architecture and everything is dwarven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going with that.
Everything dwarven under the ground. The mining and stuff and things.
Okay.
You got it, girl.
Uh-huh.
Yo, yo.
I got something. We don't know what I got, but I got something.
Okay. We go in and I would ask, okay, Irvar, do you happen to know who where Brolden is?
I can't say that it's been quite a while since I've been here to the temple. Give me a moment. I'll see if I can find out if he's around and see if he can speak to you. And
Moment
he
away then.
kind of saunters his way off.
He does that so naturally.
Yeah. And goes and finds one
Looks
of
like
these
he's floating.
individuals,
But not from.
that is dressed in
Sauntering.
priestly-like garbs, and
They have a lot of garbage.
has
around.
a conversation with them, and then skips his way back and says, apparently Roldan is here. It'll be a few moments before he can come and have a conversation with you, but
Oh, lots of look-see time then. I'm browsing. New building, new architecture, new
Things
info.
like that.
Yeah.
of course, enjoy. If you need me, I will be outside. And kind
Are you sure you don't want to stay? I mean, it's
I
been a
know.
while.
I'm positive.
Okay.
And he kind of just skips, like, oh, get me out of here.
Get nervous,
Skips
nervous.
his way out of the temple. It is a few moments or a few minutes before Roldan ends up finding you two, or finding you guys.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to look at or try to find in those few minutes that you have?
Are there books hanging around on a side wall?
No, there is a library section.
There's a library. Is there a sound
Like
acoustic
in this
room?
Big, like in this big hall chamber, there's no like books or anything.
Yeah. Well, I don't want him to look for us, so I don't want to like dodge out into a cul-de-sac area where he's like, oh, I thought someone was here to
also
talk
know
to.
that you're a group, so I know that
Yeah.
if somebody
It's still a
if group
gaggle.
wants
Okay,
to,
alright.
you know, like two of you want to split off and look at a different chamber or whatever, while the rest stick around and talk to Roldan. I didn't know if anybody wanted to do that, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. I'd glide over towards the book section.
Okay. The book section or the library is split into two sections, and it has this long, like it's square at the part where you enter in,
Mm-hmm.
and it has this long curved end to it. So it
Mm-hmm.
like lengthwise it's pretty long, and then it curves at the end. There is a second floor, but it's not like all enclosed.
Mhm.
There's steps that go up to the second level, and there's kind of like this
So there's no ceiling.
balcony that goes around.
Right.
There is a ceiling, but there's no like
Division
first
between
floor,
first, right,
ceiling,
right.
you know,
That's what I
second
mean.
floor.
That's what I mean.
It's an open,
Like at the mall or
Yeah,
something, you would
yeah,
be able to walk.
very much so.
Yeah.
And there's this like, I call it not a railing,
Sliding.
balcony of sorts that goes around the second floor, like the edges.
For reading. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's enough room up there for you to walk around, and then like there's some bench areas and things
Okay.
like that.
All right.
It's a decent sized library. Pretty close to
Sybil's having flashbacks. No.
pretty close to
library.
the size of
Yeah.
the one that is of the temple library that is in
Mhm.
Kings Harbor.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that there's like hardly anybody in here, there's a handful of individuals in here sitting at tables flipping through a book, and other than that there's like nobody in here.
Because there's not a lot of people gravitating towards this lifestyle. Everyone's wearing town's clothes, or are these rogue people like aspiring clerics?
The folks in priestly garb are aspiring clerics.
Mhm.
And there are townsfolk in here as well. Most of them look like they are either There's a few that look like they came from the middle section, section 1, and then there's a few, like, just looking at the hall and the library and whatnot, and there's a few that look like they're from section 1, but the majority look like they are from either farmers or miners.
Mm-hmm.
The majority.
Okay, so we're the only ones walking around with weapons.
Yes.
We look a little different. Okay, all right, well, I would, is there like a Dewey system, pull out file cabinet to identify books on cards, and then you go to the section like old time?
They have a counter there as you walk in.
Yeah,
That
nice.
has several large books on them.
Yeah.
That flip them open and it gives
Topical.
you
Okay.
gives you a list of topics and then also different titles that they have for that topic and then where in the library it should be located.
Okay, I guess I would look for the White Dragon.
The section that they have for anything relating to, well, I guess, are you just looking?
Not for creature wise.
Okay.
No, this is historical.
Okay.
When they bugged out, do
And came down.
yeah.
When they did. Okay. Looking for anything that would be related to that time frame. There's a couple different books that are scattered around the library that deal with that time period and would have some records of it. So you go and note those down. It's at this point where Brolden is approaching the group.
Well, you don't have a camera,
You
so it's better than a real thing.
see a dwarf probably in we would say, like 40s. And very, very well put together. Does not have the priestly garb wear that
Yeah.
everybody else does. His actually kind of, it looks like he has robes on, but
He's Doctor
they are
Strange.
definitely different. Like,
Yeah.
almost attributed to close to what Isaac wears.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're definitely more designed for
Flexibility.
adventuring
Yeah.
and that kind of
Yeah.
sort of thing. But definitely more dwarven-esque.
Yeah.
And comes up and I was told that there was a group that wished to speak to me, a group of visitors. Hello, my name is Roden. Strangers here in the city of Khazad Zar, welcome. What brings you to our fair city and to my temple? The Creator's temple, but I am in the care of the temple.
Nothing much, just thought we'd come and chill.
Oh, that is certainly something that you can do, by all means.
You do chill,
If you
right?
need some refreshment,
There you go.
Or you
I
not
can
do
leave
that?
On the
I
rocks.
can have one of my clerics grab
Or do you
some
only offer
refreshment for
alcohol?
you. I do apologize that the
What are we apologizing?
She wants a manicure.
stock in which we have for refreshment as opposed to what is available in the above world is probably drastically different, but we do our best with what we have.
Good for you.
Yes, we're very glad
You are
to
certainly the life of the party everywhere you go.
to see your
Well, thanks. I
hospitality.
think it's worth celebrating too.
It's an inward thing. Yes.
Haven't
Kind
you
of a raised
heard?
eyebrow.
The joy of the
Yeah.
Lord is my strength.
She's our woodsy girl. She's quite
It's
wild.
a gift.
Yeah. Well, look at curse.
Yes, and we like her that way.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Somebody does.
What's the I was gonna make
The wit.
a witty comment about youth since
He's
Cara's
at
Oh.
his wit's end.
since Cara's like 19.
19. The average age of Vietnam,
It's just a
19.
If I gave up now.
Oh yes, the stupidity of youth or something is what I was trying to think of, but I couldn't think of a fancy word.
Nice way, yeah.
Naivete of
Naive,
youth.
yeah.
There we
Well,
go.
that was
You're not
exactly
quite old
encouraged the
enough to
next
make those
generation
jokes
keep
in
going.
real life. So.
What's that, Kim?
You're not quite old enough to make jokes in real life, so it didn't come quite so quickly.
Yeah, trying not to
Almost.
be too detrimental. Okay. Yes, we were just talking to a wise sage on the other side of town, and he mentioned that.
You must have been talking to Agus.
Yeah. Yes, only if I make the B a D. Yes, Adgus. Not Abgus. Okay.
You should-
Gus has abs.
Did you know?
Okay.
Goes up.
The bubble goes the
That's
other
his.
way.
That was his brother. That
On
is
the
no
lot.
longer with us.
No,
Goes up.
Gazab. It's like Shazam.
Shazam!
He zapped and never know where he went. That was it. That was it.
Flipping
Poof
it
of smoke.
around. The power of correctly writing your lowercase letters, people.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. Okay.
Are we sure about this?
It's just a cliche. Okay.
Who's he?
Yes, we
Sounds French.
talked to him about knowledge about your city and how it migrated from the upper portion of the city down to this lower section where you guys now reside. And he mentioned about a heroic individual
He did.
that mentioned that he was a leader of the defenders during this time frame. And he happened to be your great grandfather?
My grandfather,
Your
Cora,
grandfather,
yes.
As opposed to the not so great one.
Have you ever ventured up to the top?
I have not. No. My father, who is no longer alive, did a handful of times make a trek to the above city. But I personally have not.
How is it that he trekked up? We slid down, and it wasn't easy.
Despite what many would tell you in the city, there are ways back to the above city, despite, or with the exception of supernatural teleportation and such. Most would say that that would be the only way of coming and going.
Mhm,
But there
mhm.
are passages still that lead up to the above city. All of them were supposed to be destroyed upon the descent,
Mm-hmm.
as those in the city call it. The passages were to be destroyed so that no one could follow us down. But as you probably have discovered, not all sections are on the same page when it comes to sections of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of does what each section wants to. So some sections decided that they didn't want to destroy their passageways.
Okay. We ran into the grumpy people.
Ah yes, those in the nobility section tend to be.
Yeah, that's it. So you're saying they chose to leave the passage open for their side? Because when we came down, they were grumpy to go towards their door. So why would they leave it open if they were just going to be grumpy to the people who go to their door?
More than
Probably
likely,
an
they
accident.
noted that passageway was still open. More than likely.
Nope, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
More than likely, that will be taken care of rather quickly.
Rectified.
So it could be.
That will be rectified rather quickly.
So it could be.
As you have said, they don't
Yeah.
really like being bothered unless it is in their own best interest.
We did mention that in the corridors it was warm-ish, but as we got to some opening areas, there was a cold frost emulating from the walls that looked like it wanted to continue to freeze, but seemed to be on the edge of the perimeter where it could continue to do the damage of cold. Bless you.
Is it?
And
It's cold here.
we didn't know if you had further information about this.
Well, that is news to me. I did not know that there was frost creeping in on.
Yes, down in this lower area, yes. The upper area is totally
It's
frozen.
not too surprising that something would be happening on the nobility side of things, and they wouldn't be saying anything.
No, that's true. That's true.
Keep their own inside their own section of the city, and might not have anybody else know about what's going on there.
We were just talking to the historian, and he kind of mentioned that there's a possibility that the dragon of long ago is still in the region and possibly is using some sort of amplifier of the special resources that you guys uncovered by helping it to be stronger with the cold.
What would lead him to believe that?
He just looked like he had an epiphany when we were talking to him, and he feels since the dragon was not dead and fled, he said, that it seems like it might have perched somewhere in the mountains.
That could be.
There's above the mountain, there's a big ice storm going on.
Yeah, constantly.
Apparently it wasn't like that when you first went down, but it is now.
And how big is this
Yeah.
storm? How widespread is it?
Well, like the whole mountain
The
range.
whole mountain
kind of
range. Yeah.
You see a similar
Epiphany.
look of recognition and
Yeah.
epiphany,
Yeah.
light bulb
Yeah.
flicking on, and that would make sense then why he would say such a thing. Yes, perhaps the dragon is still alive and has found its lair in a pocket of Ethereum, perhaps. Would be the only explanation that I can think of.
So Ethereum amplifies?
It can. That is one of its properties that it can do, yes.
If it decides.
Similar to Imbuminite.
Imbuminite helps us to empower items, allows us to apply certain empowerments to items, but after applying so much to an item, our standard.
It's a
I'm
limit.
not a.
Professional
Yeah, what was another word?
experience.
I'm not a craftsman or experienced in completely in the art of working with this material. I am and have empowered items before, but to the extent of what I am about to describe, I have not. But from my understanding, from what my father and my grandfather explained, upon putting empowerments on items, normal materials can only withstand so much power being set on it. And after so much is applied to it, the items do not last. It is because of that a stronger material was needed in order to allow more power to be applied to a single item.
So an item made of Ethereum has that longevity.
Well, until our discovery of this Ethereum, this material, nothing could be unless there was a rare occasion where something was gifted to someone directly by an immortal or by the creator in some way.
Okay.
Outside of that, we had no way of actually producing our own items.
So
on that level.
you're saying an artifact.
Yes. We had no access to any materials able to reach that level of power. But Ethereum seems to be a stronger, more durable material
Mm.
that we can use and can even is more malleable than our typical metals and ore that we usually work with.
So you can manipulate better, but
We still, even after centuries of research on this material, still have not discovered all of the applications in which Ethereum can be used.
but it's still a metal,
Correct.
and that's why you have it all over the place.
Correct.
Okay. Right. Okay. So you're saying that the dragon somehow has a connection to this?
If it built its lair in a pocket of Ethereum,
Mm.
it would amplify, in theory, the
Theory.
conditions that the presence of a powerful dragon would on the region surrounding it.
What if the dragon, instead of natural, of powers a dragon has, what if the dragon already had an artifact? Would that
Maybe
Make-
a possibility.
make the artifact stronger?
Well, artifacts many times are only as strong as the will wielding it.
Well, and the dragon's pretty big.
Yes, and has a strong will.
So,
It would depend on the artifact as well.
in the intent of the
What
artifact.
artifact do you think that it,
Oh,
what
it's
artifact do you
hypothetical.
think that
Wow.
it would possess?
Uh,
You see that he's kind of squinting his eyes
Yeah.
now that you're talking
Yeah.
about the dragon and it
yeah,
possessing an artifact.
a
He
dragon
has
would be
bit
a
of
collector.
like a suspicious
Yeah.
look to you now. Like, okay, why are these people here? And
Look at you.
what are their
Vicious.
what is their true purpose? That kind of look.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What kind of way is that?
Okay, Superman. Everyone
Who's
knows
that?
that.
Does he have Bruno Morbus too?
No, she does.
I'd be able to tell you if he did.
Yeah. Hey. But
Anyway,
when we're talking about supernatural being
I
applied
was gonna
onto
say, why
items,
don't we try to talk about this in the
yeah, it's very important to those of the Creator, because there's evil that wishes to manipulate and make things stronger to overcome good, and we would like to stop that. I am a cleric, and I stand for the Creator. There's many innocents that can be snuffed out if those who believe in the Creator don't stand up and stop the evil.
I agree. And as did my father and my grandfather, we spoke out. They spoke out against, or at least my grandfather, Corin, spoke out against the dissent and us going into hiding. But the powers that be did not want to listen, and there was much indifference in the city at the time. So, instead of leaving the city to its whims and walking away from it, we decided to continue our work here and try to reach the people of the city. But yes, I can imagine that the dark powers that be that work for the deceiver, I can only imagine that they are constantly searching for something to increase their own power and their own gain. And it is up to those of us following the Creator to fight against that. My feel my, what's the right word? And mind blanks at like the most random time. My calling
That's
is
the deal.
I feel as if my calling is to the city and its people. I will stand and fight for them, alongside them, and be a fighter for the Creator if need be, but my father and I felt that it is our calling to be here for this city and its people.
You mean the city that's the second city?
Correct.
Question then. Who is the inhabitants of the first city?
The same, well, it would have been the ancestors of those that live down here currently.
Who have given it up.
Correct.
So they no longer have ownership of the upper.
That is correct. And I'm sure you are aware of the deception that was spread far and wide in order to prevent others from pursuing or even traveling to the region
Mm-hmm.
or to the city. Again, myself and father and grandfather didn't agree with that, but we cannot control people, and people are going to do what they're going to do. We spoke out about it and did our best to plead our case against it.
We have a feeling that evil is still seeking after from what you have down in the mountain. There has been,
Despite the little fuss.
yeah, despite the grand execution of the deception, there seems to be large evil powers that are searching for what you have down in the mountain. And I think,
Which is one of the reasons for our presence.
yes. And I think they are also searching for the dragon. And if the dragon and them get together in our league, then there would be, I won't say that there's no stopping them, but it would be hard to stop them together if they both join forces to go down to where your new home is.
That would be bad.
What leads you to believe that there are forces searching for our city and this Ethereum?
Well, this is kind of a large public place, isn't it? Question to GM.
What's that?
This is a big public place.
Yeah, you guys are kind of in the main thoroughfare, the big hall here that is the main.
Where three other people
Gotcha.
are.
Well, there's
Yeah,
more
I
than
know.
that.
Yeah, we could speak more privately, I guess,
Okay.
instead of being a spectacle.
Yeah. I think it would be, we'd like to share what we know with you as we've been wandering around the
Yeah.
upper world. And that you don't know a lot about what's going on there. So we'd like to share that with you, but probably not
Here.
openly. We're probably not quite.
We're not here to cause a panic.
Not quite like this. Another way, maybe, but not like this.
Okay.
You have orange juice?
I know, we're out.
If you wish to
We snuck
discuss
some
this
down here
private,
just for you.
You may follow me then. And he leads you to
Finally, the vault. We got it.
a offshoot section
Yeah, you
from
just
the
got
main
it.
hall that looks like a bunch of living quarters. Set up a little bit different than what you're used to for like. This is multiple rooms, but there's like bunk bed like setup to each of the rooms that don't have anybody in them that have the, the door open. But eventually he leads you to a offshoot hallway that goes off for a bit and then leads you into his personal like study
Mm-hmm.
and leads you in there and closes the door.
Mistake.
So, what is it you wish to we're alone now.
Does Raylog fit?
He is having to hunch.
Yeah.
Just
We have a Raylog.
a little bit.
I thought you said he has.
We
a
do
hunch.
have
Like,
a
do
hunch.
share.
He has a hunch.
He has two.
He's our
hunch.
hunchback. Yeah.
Now he has a hunch.
Okay.
Well, he might have a hunch too. I don't know.
All right, Sybil, lay it on.
Might be.
From permanently hunching. Okay,
She must be
we
back in here.
spiel. Do you want to actually say all the words, or can we just say we explain?
Hmm.
Well, there's certain things that I am looking for when you.
Okay, can I bullet point?
Yeah, that's fine. There's
Okay.
certain things that I'm looking for that leads to further conversation from him or further
Roger
dialogue
that.
from him. But if it
All
doesn't
right.
come up, then
Then we take a
he
look.
has no.
Connection to
Connection.
right, yeah, okay.
Alright, I'm sure we'll hit those. Alright, so we got A, Hydra, B, members of Hydra, C, looking for an artifact, D, we stopped them from finding part of this artifact. What's after D? E, we found a letter that talks about, whatever his name is, talking about having another artifact that's similar. F, we found laughter trying to come inside. G, we looked at him and he works for this Hydra people. And then we found you guys around, and we think that you might have something down here that they're looking for. And now there's probably still a dragon somewhere, which is also bad if they get in contact.
Okay. Doesn't recognize anything about. Well, actually, Hydra does ring a bell.
Should. Not the current members,
The members
but the
that you
name in
mentioned
general.
to him does not ring a bell.
Right. Which is
Um,
fine.
The artifact rings a bell.
Good.
Trying to think of. And the dragons just, they're underground, so.
Right, it's
they
just
don't-
already here. Basically, we found part of an artifact that theoretically is another part of something that your ancestor was watching, is the main key. I feel.
This group you have mentioned went by a slightly different name, at least from what my grandfather told my father, and my father, or my grandfather, Corin, was part of a group that specifically hunted down a member of this group. At the time, they were a cult of sorts. They went by the name of Cult of the Hydra, not just Hydra. They had three key
Someone
figures.
identified away from the purpose.
I didn't hear what you said, Kim.
Neither did we.
I'm not next to my notes. Someone write this down.
Okay. At the time, it was said and believed to be run by three key figures. I'm sure you probably would have mentioned I don't know if you went into the history of what you know about the Great War and whatnot.
We weren't here for hours.
About what?
Not the Great War. I don't know. Would you have gone
Oh.
into all that?
Not too much, just touched on it lightly
Okay.
so we were on the same page.
The cult of the Hydra had what was believed to have three key figures that were leading this organization. A night dwell, a human, and an elf, and each possessed possessed a item of extraordinary power. The night dwell had a sword, the human had a crown, and the elf had a ring. It wasn't until near the end of the war, after the defeat of these three figures, they went into hiding, one or the other. It was believed that they were not the true head of the organization, and there was someone else above them pulling the strings, some unknown figure in the shadows pulling the strings. But it was only a theory and nothing more. Of course, time has gone by, and the artifact, the crown that the human wore, was broken and scattered in 3 different pieces, and my grandfather was the keeper and protector of one such piece.
Or the crown part,
Yes.
not the gem.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
The Zana crowns of yeah.
If
Yeah.
this organization is picking up where the previous cult of the Hydra left off, more than likely they were investigating this region because of knowledge that you have as well, believing that there was another piece of this artifact residing in the city.
They
Yes,
had
that
a
is-
book that told them where it was.
They did.
What's that?
They had a book.
They had a book that told them where it was,
according to
like pictures and everything. We got our info off of them.
We got our information about the crown from them
Oh.
in the book.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, then more than likely that is why they were here and what they are looking for. The Ethereum would only be a addition
A
to
bonus.
that discovery and
Yeah.
a bonus, yes.
Yeah, but they
You
could also
see
be
him,
both looking for 2 different things.
You do see him
Yeah.
several times during this conversation clocking Sybil's rapier and taking a almost kind of like that double take like look and then like look away as if like trying to not look like he's eyeing it but
Yeah.
also eyeing it.
Yeah,
at the
go
same
to your
time.
own yard sale, all right?
Very drunk in my backyard. Mine's full. Why do you think these people keep following me?
Not only that, but in recent years we have learned that there is a connection of sorts that this shard of the crown has with Ethereum. Not entirely sure what it is, but as far as I can tell, and my father and grandfather suspected it, but wasn't entirely convinced of it. But my father and I are more convinced of it, that there is a special connection between Ethereum and this crown and other items like it. So, for
What
This
kind, can I ask
organization-
what kind of a connection? Like, what does that mean?
They behave and interact with each other in a unexpected way that when you just in an unexpected way, and we're not entirely sure why and what it means or how.
May I ask what that unexpected way is? Or do you want to keep that to
You're
yourself?
not telling
Well,
us.
it's hard to explain. It's not. It's.
Does it become live?
In a
Yeah, I've got the
sense,
time.
It's like there's a sense of warmth and vibration and humming that the two of them do in proximity to each other.
The materials.
Yes.
Is it radiating
That
evil?
makes sense. I don't know why it makes sense, but that.
No, not radiating evil, just like there's a
Chemically?
like there's a sense of recognition or
Do
something.
you remember when we were outside looking at the thing up with the imbuminite that stopped the weather? It
Yeah.
had the base,
Yeah.
and like Avi was vibrating because he was near the base. Same thing.
Okay. All right. Is that why he's staring at it?
Probably.
Yeah, it reminds him of the ore that it's made of and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got the eye. Okay. All right. Well,
I don't know why, but he's right.
he's drawn to it. If those looking are looking for the dragon that might, but actually, okay, I know you're not going to tell me directly, but those who were caretakers of the artifact piece, is it still secure?
Yes.
Okay, so the dragon did not acquire this.
No.
Okay.
That we know.
That's good.
No.
Good thing.
I can
Guarantee that.
Definitively
Yeah.
say.
definitively say
It's
that
in my
the dragon
pocket.
does not have
He's got to walk it in
They'll,
his pocket.
they'll never
me,
look
oh
for
my.
it there.
Whatever shall we do? He's got to walk it in his pocket.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes. Bliss.
So,
Wait. Oh shoot.
bang.
Oh, have you ever heard of a person named Natim or Natem?
We keep
However
it
you
in.
want to say it.
Can't say that I have, no.
Ahem. That's my name.
Have you ever actually taken time to identify the artifact that your family's protecting? Out of curiosity.
No. My father and I have not, simply because Corin, my grandfather, essentially told us what it came from, where it came from, who it came from, and such, and we felt like there was no need for that. Since
Yeah,
he
no,
was
that's
there
fair.
at the sundering of the crown.
That tracks. The last piece that we came across, well, we didn't know what it was, so we identified it. And it was actually made by this guy, and whatever.
She's her earbuds in. It breaks up more.
I'm sorry, I had to leave and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
We'll forgive you this one time.
But next time.
Appreciate it.
Time 120.
Mm-hmm.
But the crown that Zahn wore and his sword, the Zahn's crown and sword, were both made by Natim. And so is the circlet of, what is this metal called again? Ethereum?
Ethereum, yes.
Okay, Ethereum that's outside of the city right now. Just throwing it out there. as a person of note.
No, the name does not ring a bell,
Okay, that's fine.
but
I'll figure it out one day.
Someday.
likelihood of a group restarting and essentially gathering the same items that were used during the Great War by the very leaders of a similarly named organization, for something like that to start up again. And
Yeah, we don't like that.
the rumors of a figure
Didn't they-
operating in shadow, running things behind the scenes.
That's what made me think it's
That
from the
would
10 guy.
speak more to that theory than previously.
Yeah. That's
So-
kind of what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't happen to know how they broke the crown in the first place, do you?
Corin did not go into detail on that, no.
That's too bad. That might have been handy to know. Okay.
Hot and cold. Yeah.
Temperature.
Just get it
Yeah.
hot and then cool it down really fast and smack it.
Mm. Okay.
Temperature just gets you.
I don't know. Do we have anything to ask? That's about all we can get from this guy. So.
I don't know, that's
Okay,
a bit of information that you guys didn't know that
That's good. No, that's good.
Yeah.
It's presently secret. It's presently safe. Us being around here is probably a danger to it, so we should probably leave kind of soon.
Maybe sorta.
Just heads up to you. Someone's probably looking for it. Just so you know.
Yeah. Since you're guarding it and it's safe, then
Yeah.
that's fine with us.
Uh-huh.
The dragon just seems to be happy to sit in a cold region
Hopefully.
and hasn't tried to come back in 1,000 years.
Cryostasis.
So he might be crying in one spot. That's true.
Crying and staying.
But
Cryostasis.
the idea that
Frozen views.
no one needs to pick on him if he's not picking on anyone else. And since we know he doesn't have the artifact,
True.
so he's not more of a threat than he originally was. So
Right, which was our original thought.
that was our original thought.
Originally.
Yes.
If he did, then we would have to try to eliminate the threat.
Which I'm glad we don't need.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have to. Any help
So
would have been
glad.
happy to have, of course, but it would be a great task.
Mhm.
My family has been tasked with guarding this piece of the artifact, essentially with our lives. And that has been our mission outside of our calling to this city and its people.
Right. So you're doing two things. Yeah. Then we will leave you to continue to do what you've been doing. Again, like Sybil says, we're not here to cause more of an eye fixed in this direction.
Not trying to
No.
put a target on your back or anything.
No.
Just wanted you to know.
Yeah. So,
Flash didn't know you all were here.
yeah, and we do know it's secure because at first it was just a vacant place to try to locate something that might be dug up. But now we know there's physically living people who are have a calling to protect instead of something laying around to be discovered. So it's in good hands.
And then we picked it up.
Yeah. So So other than that,
I am a bit concerned to say, though, that there are these new players
mhm.
that are now searching for this artifact, and they have what seems to be a book or record of this artifact and the city, which is a bit concerning.
It was on a boat, wasn't it, Sybil?
We don't know. We changed locations because we spied on them too many times.
Yes, but that's where it started.
Yeah, but the last time we actually saw the book with the crown, he was in a shed somewhere.
So that shows the frequency of changing on our end also. So we can't just say we can locate those who are searching because they're changing also. So it'd be nice to stop them, but we don't know where they're going to locate.
It would.
So we don't want them to see us poking our nose in a place too long.
I mean, they're also really powerful. So.
Yes. So that way it'll give them verification,
without this
keep
stuff,
looking there.
so-
So we were just going to pick up camp and make our presence known somewhere else. So that way they feel that we
And
have
hopefully throw them off the trail.
saturated and found nothing and left to go somewhere else. Sort of like a ruse
Yeah.
your people did many years ago. Less
Yeah,
extensive.
We'll kind of wave our arms around and be like, over here.
Yeah.
Just somewhere else.
Because if they don't have all the parts, then they can't use it.
I mean, that
Yes.
was the idea
Hmm.
that my grandfather and his
Well,
comrades had when they
Hmm.
broke the crown.
Do they
You don't
know?
happen to just kind of have any information on the other important things that the people had, specifically the ring? They kind of already found and stole Willbreaker back, so they have that.
I didn't catch that.
They have Willbreaker. The bad guys do.
Right, but you don't have any information
The
on where
circle.
the other ring.
The ring.
The ring, no. I have no information on that. And my grandfather never mentioned
Yeah.
anything about the jewel that was also part of the crown. Only that there was a jewel,
Oh,
but
yeah.
where that went or where it was hidden
Hmm.
was not mentioned.
Well, we're trying to look for leads to look for that now. Now that we know that that's secure.
As of right now, one piece went to each bit of that group, because, part one was in the jungle with the elf guy, part two is here with the dwarf guy, part three is probably with the twinsies, wherever they are.
We don't know where the twins are, unless they're talking
But I
about
don't know anything about them.
the
I don't
evil
even know their
twins,
names.
the volcanoes. So we don't know.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah. Well, you like fire, Sybil. So,
It doesn't mean I want that much of it. Lava is very different than fire.
it is, but if that's where we're drawn, then that's where we go. So wherever
Yes,
the
if I have to. I'll-
Yep, wherever the creator deems us to go is where we'll go. We always have Braulio. Fabio.
You're right. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. He's got our back.
You guys hear
He'll throw us clear.
on the door to the study.
Oh man, I didn't tell Mom we were here.
What? Were you not allowed to throw
Yeah.
a party in here?
No. Rowdy. And I thought you were Baptist.
Go away. This is just for me and my friend's mom. No.
Roldan says, excuse me, and he walks over to the door and opens it, and you see one of these aspiring cleric figures there, and says, pardon me, the individual that was leading these folks, just was curious on how much longer they were going to be, or whether they needed his assistance anymore, or
Our Uvar, is out there.
Well, yeah, we'll need him to get out of here, right?
Yeah, now you did mention that there were other ways to go other than supernatural, other than those tubes. Is there any other way to go to the surface?
Roland looks back. Yes, there's passageways. Yes.
More than one.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Other than chimneys.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, that's good.
All right. Well, unless you can think of anything else that would be helpful for us to know as we go back up top, we'll probably skedaddle and try and distract them from you as much as we can.
If we were ever to, let's say, urgently need to come back and supernaturally pop in, where would a good place to pop in be? Do you have a
This
pop-in
spot looks
place
good.
in the temple?
I'm pretty sure this is a good spot. It's pretty.
I mean, we don't want to
Yeah,
pop
this
into
way
your
here.
office. We do that to somebody else already.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
And he loves it.
Yeah, it's a running gag, but
I think pretty much anywhere in the temple would be fine. Whether it's
That's right
section
here.
of the living
Not the
quarters or whether
restroom.
it's the library or the main hall.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Excuse me.
We're all going down now.
You better hope.
I failed my
I
save.
see.
Failed my save. I'm going down.
Alert.
They-
Delta
Roll
waves
an
were
alert
far
this
too
check.
strong. I can tell you.
All right.
The yawn was coming out.
Well, we
awareness,
can
it's
get
awareness.
here pretty quick if you desperately need us. So call us if you need help,
Sybil,
and we can be here pretty darn quick.
Sybil, would you mind rolling me a
The first roll.
percentile check for me?
I am incapable.
I have to roll for it.
Can't do it. Just can't do it.
I'm at work.
Yeah. 52.
Do you know what her hearing awareness?
It's like
I feel
99.
like it's 92, 94,
yeah.
something like that.
Mid conversation here, you hear what sounds like another set of footsteps at the end that seem to be somewhere in the hall that leads to this office. You just hear another set of footprints, just
Great success.
seemingly like they're trying to be quiet and are in the hallway.
Okay.
Like, that the guy in the door can still see you, or what?
I don't know what you mean
The
by
young priestly robe guy said, "Hey,
yeah,
there's
he's
someone
still there,
here." Yeah.
Yeah.
waiting for a
Yeah.
answer to.
And then we keep
relay,
having conversation.
But
Yeah.
mid conversation with him and Brolden and you guys going back
Okay.
and forth here, you clock another set of footprints in the hallway somewhere, and the set of
I
footprints. It
just
sounds like
kinda
someone is trying to be
Lean
quiet.
over the dwarf and just kind of pop my head out, just a little.
Okay, you don't see anyone.
Even with the robes.
Oh, she doesn't have the robe on.
I
Yeah.
can see invisible people.
Yeah, then you see a huge outline of someone in the hallway rounding the corner to the left, leaving the hallway essentially, but rounding the corner to the left.
I go, ooh, invisible person, and I book it.
Okay.
Okay, she says that out loud. Can she see footprints?
No, it's just the hue of the person.
Far side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it look like a tall person or a short
No,
person?
it looked like someone the size of a dwarf.
Just happened.
Invisible dwarf.
Invisible dwarf.
Okay. All right. So you're
Sniff,
spring.
sniff. I'm gonna sniff him.
Okay.
Okay.
Sniff on it.
You do smell there's different scents in here. You smell 3 different
Right. I'm
scents.
trying to catch the stronger one.
Okay, well, you have
The one that goes to the left.
You have 3 unknown scents that you're not sure who it's coming from that are
Okay.
prevalent in this space. You have one for Brolden, you have one for this mysterious person, and you have one for this young cleric person.
This random guy. Okay.
Ignore 2
I'm
familiar.
going down the hall into
and
the
do
left.
one. Okay, she runs in the hallway. She's dashing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going.
What's your speed?
Is it dark in here?
No, it's lit.
Oh, then it's just 30.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 30.
Okay.
So
you
it's
get down
60.
to the end of get down to the corner of the hallway, and you see this invisible, what looks to be a robed or a caped figure that has like a cowl up, dwarven sized, booking it and almost at the end of the hallway and getting ready to go into the main hall of the temple.
Okay, I'm gonna run after him
Okay.
and
All right.
try and sniff him. If he's the only one in this hall, turn to the left.
I assume she says invisible guy and she runs out. We take the
I
cue
did.
too. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, we take the cue too.
Okay.
Huh?
I pretty much. I think we're being compromised. We got to run. And I turn. And I run.
You guys take off after Sybil, and this is like she's already like halfway down the hallway, chasing after this person, getting ready to get to she's like halfway to the corner by this point. Sybil, you get into the main hall and you see this person essentially making their way towards the exit of the temple. I mean, they are just hightailing it. They're not looking back at you.
Okay,
They're
I'm
just
dashing
just
after him.
hightailing.
Is he faster than her?
He seems to be keeping pace with her.
Okay.
Okay, then I guess I'll just keep running.
Do you have an empowerment you want to do on him?
I don't have my list in front of me, I don't think.
Yeah.
I could try to tell him to.
Command.
I could try to
Order,
command him
order.
to return to me.
It's a wisdom -4.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll say return.
What's
or
your
come
wisdom?
back. I don't know how to say come back in one word. Come.
Or you can just tell him stop.
Yes.
That is true. You could just say stop.
Just say stop. He freezes. It gives you
Sure,
a
I
whole
could say
speed up to
stop,
him.
But I want him to take his effort to come back towards me, though.
You get him to trip.
Fall!
Fall down.
Yeah, if you say trip and he falls,
There you go,
it's half his
fall.
movement to
Fall's
get
a
back
good one.
up.
Fall is a good one.
Yeah, fall.
You're right.
Yeah.
Fall is a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. Well
Okay.
said.
So-
Sit.
yeah.
Stay.
Trip.
Yeah. So that's a wisdom -4.
I have a 5 in
course.
mine.
Well, at least you didn't waste a good one on it. All right. You have 2 turns to do that. Because one at the end of the hallway and then one further in the middle when he's going towards the door. You could try it again. It's only one
Should I try
power
it
point.
again?
Yeah, it's only one power point.
You have one more time
So-
that you're going to be able to do this before he gets to the exit of the temple.
So when
Alright, I'll
when
try one more
I
time. Might as well.
when I am coming out to help, like I'm not able to see this person because they're invisible,
This
correct?
is
I don't
correct.
see.
Right.
Do I hear them?
Not amongst the shuffling of everybody, of your whole group running, and then you have Sybil saying stop or fall or whatever she ended up saying.
Oh.
And then you have other people
Lay
saying,
down.
you have also people in the main hall that are like looking at you guys like what's going on, and you have like
Yep.
like as people are like seeing you guys just like hightailing it towards the exit.
Hey, Kimberly, why don't you just do sleep on? It's the same save.
Because I usually roll bad.
Well, it's the same roll. I mean, you're going to have more life dice than he has of what he has.
How do you know that?
I don't think he's that high of a level. That's fine. Just do.
Okay, I mean, it's just a one person,
All right. Yeah. So,
I guess.
all right. I'll roll for it then.
Make it work. Alright, fine.
Oh, I ran out of dice. That was 9, 10, 11, plus 1, 11, 12. So it's 6 levels. And then he has to do a wisdom of 4.
5.
Well, 0 through 5.
My modifier is 5.
Natural 3 again.
You did a natural 3 anyways. He passed.
Every time I use empowerments, it never works.
It's twice he's rolled. I know it makes you question your
The
clerical.
last time I tried to do this
Yeah, every
too,
time.
I got framed for murder.
Yeah, yeah. So
With a scarring experience, we can tell.
do a negative reroll on him. Okay.
Alright, so he ends up getting to the exit of the temple and rounds the
Blast
corner.
you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Sybil continues to take off and rounds the corner of the temple and does not see the individual anymore.
Because there's another corner. There's not another corner?
Alright, well I know he
There are
went this
multiple
way,
corners,
so
I'm
I'm
just saying.
sniffing.
She doesn't see a red-hued figure anymore or looking around seeing
Right.
any invisible individuals or anybody resembling normal-looking,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
non-invisible, resembling the figure that she saw.
Okay.
Alright, I turn to the left, I'm sniffing to the left.
Okay. The scent continues for like 3 steps around the corner and then just vanishes.
Alright,
Just
I
like
have
he
that
was there
particular
one minute
scent.
and then gone the next.
So technically
right,
you didn't have to
probably
run
only
anyways.
went about 30 feet.
He seemed to want to get out of the temple though for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right,
How
because you
far
probably
away was
can't answer
the
me.
exit of the temple from the room we were in? Like, could I have blinked in front of him and then get him to stop?
Right.
Because he ran into
And
me?
really-
Well,
He's
you're
way
also dealing
faster
with
than
someone
me.
that's invisible. You don't know where he was at.
Right, I understand.
He wants a lot of minuses for a chance. Try to swoop like a big net in front of someone. And just
I mean,
grab.
the hallway that that Sybil saw him like rounding the corner is like 45 feet to the corner, and then the
Okay.
hallway going to the main hall is like close to 60 feet, and then the main hall itself is like another 60 feet until you get to the exit.
And is this hall a single person wide hall? Or could I have squeezed by?
It's like an average hallway, but it's an average hallway.
What? 15 feet? 10 feet?
Yeah.
All right, so he got away. And
Is there anywhere within about like, I don't know, 30, 40 feet that you can see from the outside of this temple that looks like a good spot that's far away that if I had a blink ring or whatever, like I've seen Greylock do, I would want to go over there?
Besides going into like a across the street into like an alleyway, or you could go up on like a roof somewhere on one of the buildings to the left. I mean, those are really your only options.
Okay. I'll just turn, I'll tell everyone I don't see him anymore, he got away. I'm gonna sniff around for a bit and see if I can pick him up. But other than that, he's not here anymore. So I'll just kind of let them deal with the people, and I'm gonna walk away and try and sniff.
As all of you make your way to the outside of the temple, a familiar figure approaches you. Well, how did that go, everyone?
Just peachy.
That was where I was.
Great.
Yeah.
I just saw all of you just come running out
make a
here
pie.
like
It was so
there was a
peachy.
fire or something in the temple.
Was that what it was? I couldn't tell.
Well, what we did run
I'm
after
still walking,
was
I'm
Red.
walking past him.
What was that, Kim?
What was that?
I'm still walking. I'm walking
Yeah,
past him.
she's not
I'm
part
on
of it,
task
yeah.
now.
She's what?
Nope.
Yeah.
He's just walking past.
Yeah, she's ignoring that. She's
I walk. I'm like, yep, it went great. I walk past him. I'm on task. I am going to sniff.
Okay.
Yeah, what we ran after was something red and invisible.
Red and invisible.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. It was invisible. How did you see it?
We didn't. Our comrade did.
Oh.
She is special.
Oh. One of those types.
You always have to have one of them types.
What is she doing now?
Continuing her looking.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. Special.
Don't mind me then. I'll just be over here then. He goes over and just leans up against
Yeah.
one of the pillars.
Tries to be entertained. Yeah. Okay. Well, she's looking, but we can't do anything. So.
You continue to sniff around. That scent, like, is like you follow that scent to where like he ran or the individual ran, and then it just drops off like outside the temple.
Right. I'm trying to see if I can pick it up about 30 to 40 feet
In a
away
blink
from that
distance.
point,
Yeah. Mhm.
which is about the distance of a blink ring, more or less. Just to see if it was a quick teleport somewhere else to get some distance so he wasn't seen, or I can follow him from here.
Okay, so meandering around the outside of the temple, you eventually on the building that's next to the temple, you do catch a slight whiff of the
I figured he
scent,
went
as
up.
if
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
blinked or did a small teleport,
That's what I was
short
looking
teleport
for.
of sorts,
Mhm.
up all under the roof or around the side of the building or something like that, and then disappeared from there.
He disappeared again.
Okay, I'm going over there, and I'm
Okay. Can she still follow a trail then?
But
kind of like I did
it's
with
very,
the one
it's very
guard
similar
across
to
Pink
like
Harbor.
the outside of the temple. Like you go over there and there's like a remnant of the scent there.
Oh,
Like,
you're
that's the
saying he
only
blinked
where-
like
that's
twice?
the only place that it is.
Yeah, so he blinked again. Because he
Yeah.
didn't leave
Twice.
Or
her
he used
Yeah.
some other source to go
further.
long distance.
Okay,
of
alright.
some
Okay,
sort.
so he's gone.
All right.
Alright.
Mm.
Yep. Alright, I mean, we were gonna leave. Well, we
Cool.
were.
But then we decided it was so charming, we just had to stay.
Well, we should probably check back in with our other dwarf friend real fast. We just kind of abandoned him in his room. So.
Are you talking about the sage?
Who?
The sage. Which other
The
dwarf?
old dwarf.
Oh, no, the one in the temple. The one in the temple.
Oh,
The one that I just ran away from.
Brolden. Okay. All right, we'll go back to Brolden.
Rolden?
Yeah, Brolden.
Brolden.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
We want
Brolden,
to see if he's
that
still
guy.
alive.
Okay. He is standing basically at the exit of the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
like coming in, or where you guys exited the main hall to go into the hallway to
Yeah.
go to the living quarters and his study. He's kind of standing there at the doorway, just looking at all of you as you were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just jetted out. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll tell him, hey, there was somebody eavesdropping on us, including you, us, during
Oh.
some part of our conversation. We don't know how much. And he has supernaturally been cloaking himself to be invisible.
Yeah, invisible, teleportation.
Yeah. And
He was short, dwarf-sized, so he's not going to stand out around here.
yeah, he can blend into the crowd.
No.
Oh, rats.
He was invisible though, so you don't.
Thought I was
Yeah,
on
but he did sort of try to elude us with to teleport. It did seem like when he was outside of the temple. Is there a certain
Yeah.
ward of some sort or something in the temple that helps keep that from
One
happening?
thing that my grandfather taught and not taught. One thing that my grandfather gave my father, and he has since brought it down here when we relocated the temple and came down here, is another artifact, if you will, that prevents
Transporting?
supernatural teleportation or transportation in around the radius in which this item is located. They thought it best.
You just told us we could teleport in here.
There's certain
Touche.
stipulations
Okay.
that we can bestow upon said item to allow certain individuals to teleport within its radius.
Gotcha.
But any unknown or unwarranted attempts will be thwarted and they will just simply end up outside the radius. But once inside the
How
radius,
wide known is that information?
you are unable to teleport if unknown or unwanted.
Does that include portals?
Portals.
as opposed to the other things.
Yes. An open.
Did he make the I don't know what you're talking about face?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yes.
Yeah. An open.
Oh no, oh buddy, okay, we need to talk about portals.
Yeah. Open gateways instead of blinking teleport, but an open avenue of space that connects to another that will let you transport yourself and others for a certain time and then close. There are portals.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Man, I don't want to waste
Do you
one.
have a
Device?
Do you have
We
a
could
way
try.
of testing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Where do you guys want to go?
We absolutely do.
Where do you want to go?
Yes, we do.
Well,
I'm opposed.
uh-huh. So before I knew that you were here, I had a plan in mind of where to hide this particular piece. We could like try and pop there real quick.
Are we speaking our bat cave?
No, not the back.
Oh,
cave.
good. Okay.
No. I was thinking we would My original thoughts and plans for this were that we would give it to the Watcher
The other man
inside of the big tree.
Yeah.
that only one person has seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could pop over to Living
Well,
Tree
I mean,
Forest.
if we just go to the town, the tree haven in general, we'll even see if it works.
The Elven Tree. Yeah.
The elder tree, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Elder Tree. Okay, so you're gonna try to open a portal to Tree
Yeah.
Haven
Yeah, let's try that.
here in the temple.
Mhm.
So you do what you've done
Mhm.
many times before with your gauntlet, trying to form this portal, and you see one. It's kind of like Doctor Strange when he's first trying to
Mhm.
like make it, and just you see like the sparks like trying like it's trying to form, but it's just like this, it just seems like it's really struggling to form itself. And you try and you try and you try, but nothing opens up.
All right, sounds like a no.
Yeah, sounds like a big,
Anti-portals,
big no.
beans.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm assuming nothing can get in here supernaturally. So, unless you gave us permission.
Which can be granted, yes.
Okay. I think we should do that for
Yes.
emergency reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, we
If
could
you
come
would,
help you, you could get out, that kind of thing.
again, accompany me, and he leads you back to his study.
His humble abode. Yeah.
Shuts the door and places an extra hand, like after closing the door
Mhm.
and you all being inside, he places a hand on the door
Mm-hmm.
for a few seconds and then releases his hand from the door, or takes his hand off the door, and comes back to each of you and goes basically down the line and places his hand on your shoulder for a few seconds. You feel like this warm sensation like go through like across your body, starting at the shoulder that he's holding, and then dissipate. And he goes through and does that to each of you.
Did he get the kitty cat?
No kitty cat.
No, it did not do the cat.
Do we have to post?
Or the bear in the
Yeah.
necklace? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And after that, he says, "You all have been granted access and should be able to use supernatural teleportation or transportation
Okay.
within the radius now."
All right. So we don't have to test it. We already know it works. Okay.
Doo-doo-doo.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I know that's a little bit hard, actually, for trusting wise, and we appreciate that.
Well, from what I can
Surmise.
surmise, you all seem to be followers of the Creator, and you seem like you are capable folk as well. So, and with the knowledge and information you have given me, sounds like you would like to prevent evil things from taking place, and evil from reigning, I guess you would say.
Be good if you had an item that would reveal invisibility too. Maybe, I don't know if you can work on that.
I do have the ability to see and detect empowerments, but
Mhm.
I was not expecting company. So.
Right. Well, hopefully, this might solidify that by us leaving, there'll be less prying eyes.
True. Although I am a little wary now that this
Oh yeah, he definitely heard in more than half of that.
individual and how much they
And he knows that we went and
may
saw
have
you.
heard
Yeah.
and what they may know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, like I was saying, if you wanna hop out of here, no good spot with lots of other good people and powerful entities that are more or less secret. that could help you out.
Sounds like work.
Maybe. Yeah. You want to see a tree, like a really big tree?
Living tree forest.
Yeah.
If you think this might
If
be
you needed it
compromised.
there.
Yeah, there's the great Deku tree. I mean, we got him.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I was hoping we would put it there if we found it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, at least for the time being, it might be prudent to move the artifact and have it reside somewhere else for a time. At least until maybe someone has dealt with this group once again and
yeah.
knowledge of it has fallen off.
Okay. Did you want to talk to the warden?
I was gonna say I should probably call first.
Glandra.
Calandra.
Galandra. I already do the
Galandra.
gland thing.
Ding-ling.
Oh, never mind.
Ding-ling.
All right, you call
Probably
Galandra.
my fault for my gamer tag. All right, I'll call Galandra.
Okay.
Hi, it's us again. We found something super important, and we were wondering if you could maybe hide it for us.
Could house it in the tree's underwear. His underbark.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
Yeah, it's
certainly
kind
piqued
of
my
important.
interest.
People are looking for it.
I'm happy to be of help however I can. And you've certainly piqued my interest.
That's like a pretty solid yes, or like a maybe.
That's a yes.
It was, I will see what I can do and help however I can. But
Yeah.
you've also piqued your interest.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just a bonus.
gotcha. Oh, I only heard the I piqued your interest bit.
Yeah, you couldn't hear it.
And I was like, okay, and?
Yeah. The usual.
Cool, alright, I think we might be bringing a friend, maybe not, I don't know yet.
I think most
Yeah,
likely.
probably soon. I just thought he would want to go with the thing,
Oh yeah,
like his thing.
I'm
That-
pretty
that
sure
was-
he's going
yeah.
too. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because we don't know how he can acquire it, where it is. He might have to go through 20
No
different
idea.
locks and whatever. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
They love locks around
No
here.
idea.
Those locks.
They do. The last time it was like super dangerous, so.
Yeah. They're pointing arrows at us. Okay.
It was, yeah, it was.
But you are welcome whenever you decide to arrive.
Okay. Tell
If you
her.
arrive.
Tell her to give her a heads up when you do.
Okay, we'll let you know when we're about to come over.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we'll.
Alright, she said she'd be down to have you guys over when we're ready to bring it over.
And they are elves.
Not all of them. They have little twig people like you and barklets.
Yeah.
They're fun.
That's because we're intrusive. I mean, we visit.
I'm just saying he'll still be taller than half of the population.
In certain areas. But this is not on this continent. Not those elves.
No, it isn't. It's actually really
Yes,
close.
yes. These are different
I am
elves.
not opposed to traveling to other parts of the world, as many in this city might be.
Okay, all right. Good. Okay.
I think you'll like it, actually.
Yeah, they have cool food. Yeah. All right.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, shall we go and retrieve the artifact then?
Yeah, the
Do
sooner
you
the better.
have
Yeah.
a thing to put it in for travel?
You already have your own case?
Last time we put it in a pouch of holding just to make sure it was like not detectable.
Well, I don't really have anything like that, no. I mean, I haven't really given much thought about transporting it before. I've never thought that I would have to
Right,
think about
okay.
transporting it.
Have you
Well, I
ever
mean, we
touched
are a
it?
temple. Could we get one here?
One time,
What happened?
never again.
It did not go well.
Mm,
That is putting
okay.
it mildly.
all right. See,
I mean,
You don't
does
have
your
an extra-
temple
Ever
have-
since my
holding?
ever since my grandfather,
yeah.
he had both my father
Let's see what I have here.
experience the evil and the dark artifact and give us more of a reason of why we are
Guarded.
guarding it and protecting it, and felt that it's
Okay.
best for us to experience
Okay.
it ourselves.
You only have my backpack.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of alive. It's kind of ominous.
All right,
So
Okay.
can we get a pouch of holding here at your temple?
they really don't have much for your normal like empowered items. They don't really
Okay.
have those. They do have.
I don't have
stuff
my
that
pouch
you,
with me.
They do have some stuff that you're usually accustomed to finding at a temple,
Yeah.
but the other stuff not so much. But we can go over that.
All right. Well, I do have a thing we could use.
We can go over that and go over retrieving the artifact here. But let's take a break for like 5 or 10 minutes here, and then we'll come back to whatever you guys want to get into afterwards. Let's take a quick break
Okay.
here. straight for the artifact, or are we looking for anything particular, like items or whatever that the temple might have?
They don't have anything here.
They do.
No, they
If
don't.
they don't,
Tell us what they have then.
I mean, if they don't have a bag of holding,
Yeah, they don't have a bag of holding.
unless you
They
would
do
know
not
of
have a
anything that
bag
they
of
do have,
holding,
since
but
you
they
live
do
here.
Have some items. Not many.
Sure,
They do have.
why not?
They do have a few weapons, and they do
Let's at least
have,
hear them out, because I'm sure they have some interesting things that are unique to their place.
They do have some weapons, and they do have a few pieces of armor too that are empowered.
Okay. There's stuff that I picked up that we never identified
Mm-hmm.
from the people upstairs. We can get back to that later. Okay. Ignore me.
Oh, we should tell Chuckles that we're not gonna need him anymore,
Chuckles.
shouldn't we?
Oh, yeah. Urvar? Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
let
I mean, if
Urvar
we're
know
just
not
gonna
to be the
pop
Uber
out of
driver
here.
and wait for us
We
too
should
much
let him know
longer.
to not waste the rest of his
Yeah,
day.
so he can go practice juggling and
All that
have
other
fun.
stuff.
Yeah, he'll be a
Yeah,
great
he's been a good guy.
entertainer one
Mhm.
day.
You know? Mhm.
He's very nice.
Yeah, we'd like to run into him some other time and
Mhm.
have a good laugh.
All right, so you go and you go outside the entrance of the temple and look for
Uvar.
Urvar,
Mm-hmm.
and you do not see Urvar out there at the leaning on the pole or pillar
Okay.
anymore.
Well, we're not gonna chase after him.
Should we ask about him just to make sure? I'll just double check that he left of his own volition and didn't get just like yoinked.
Okay, how are you gonna check on that?
There's like 8 people standing around here.
Are there people just standing around then? If they saw,
There's a few people in the street, and
yeah.
there's some people
Street rats.
walking into the temple and some people
Okay.
exiting.
All right. Okay. Hey, did you guys notice Urvar here?
Yeah,
And did he
that's-
just
hey,
leave,
did you
or
guys
was he
notice
ushered
him?
away by
Yeah.
some people?
I didn't see him. I mean,
You-
I didn't see anybody leading anyone away.
Urvar was leaning against that pole. Did anyone see him?
I think I saw, I saw someone leaning up against the pool there whenever, or the pillar there whenever I came into the temple, but
They remember seeing him, but they didn't
Oh,
see him
yeah.
walk or do anything.
Then
They just recollect.
I'll just give a little sniff around the pole just to
okay.
make sure it's near the pole.
So you go over to the pool and you give a sniff around. You don't really smell anything until you get really close to the pole or the pillar that he was leaning up against. And you
Yeah.
catch a familiar scent on the pillar that kind of just makes your skin crawl and makes your it's a little frustrating. It smells very similar to the person that you were chasing out of the temple, actually. And strangely enough, now thinking back on it, while you were in the presence of Urvar, you didn't really smell a scent on him at all, like in his proximity,
Void.
as if it was masked in some.
Oh, he was an illusion or something. Oh.
But him leaning up against
Oh,
the
no, what
pillar
Wait.
gave off the scent and put the scent then on the object itself.
So when we first met him at the gate, he still was
That's right.
not giving off scent compared to what.
Correct.
So he's been a plant all this time?
What if he's is he mystery dwarf? Is he mystery dwarf for Faven? What's his face? Maybe Silas, question mark?
Sure, why not?
Oh, that's me.
There's also been
What
many,
phase is
there's
going
been a
moving
lot of
right now?
new scents and whatnot coming from into a new city and a new area and things like that. But thinking back on it now, everywhere that you've gone with him, you have not picked up a distinct scent for Urvar.
Okay.
This is mainly directed
Okay.
towards Sybil, because she's the one that
We'll pick up.
does that kind of stuff.
Okay, guys, I think he might actually be the bad guy.
Okay, all right. I get it. All right, we pass that information.
Won you over with his jolly attitude.
Well, he was just a weirdo. We just thought we had to put up with. That's all.
Is that what it was?
So, all right.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
charisma is a wonderful thing.
Okay. Well, everyone else was being weird too.
No, that's true.
The whole streets was a bunch of
The whole city's
yeah,
weird.
bonkers. Yeah.
Everybody else is
Yeah.
nuts but me.
Alright, sounds good.
Okay. All right, let's look at these
We
items.
turn around and go back down, and no one's there.
That's a possibility. Okay.
All right, what?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They beat
Let's
up
take a
our
look at
brothers more
just some of the hardware. What they got.
Okay.
Alright,
All the
let's do
items
it.
that you are seeing, weapons and armor-wise, there is a set of boots. There is a helmet, and there is a, or no, there is a helmet, and there is a breastplate, and then the weapons themselves, you have pretty much one of like everything: short sword, long sword, battle axe, like all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The metal that it is made out of, you notice, is made out of this Ethereum metal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, what they have a plaque that tells you what these items do, or what's going on?
All of them,
Yeah.
each of them, like depending on whether it's the weapon or the armor. Like the armor only has the bonus to DR applied to them.
Correct.
There's no additional
Special
like
effects.
special empowerment added to it, which means that there's only more that can be applied to it.
Right.
And the weapons are plus to hit. All of them are at least +2 or more.
Mhm.
And some of them do have an elemental damage to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any hammers? Hammers? Hemis?
Warhammers.
I have a Hemi. You have any two-headed warhammers?
Two headed. Like Deputy Coleman.
Two heads better than one.
What is the general cost of these particular items?
We get a traveler's discount.
They would be,
Right.
even though they are not super empowered, they would be ranked in the rare category. So they're between like 5 and 10K a piece.
Cool. I don't have that.
No, it would have to be
I
from the
don't carry
Kindred
that much.
fund. Yeah.
Well, even then, most of that fund is in the temple and
Yeah.
not on us.
Well, that's just a portal away.
What item has the
Which we
highest
can do
cost?
The breastplate is the highest cost.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the amount of material used.
Yeah, and
No,
you already
but what
have.
has the highest like bonus, like whether it's a bonus to attack or a bonus to defense?
The chest plate has the most to armor, or the DR bonus. When it comes to the weapons, the longsword and like the bigger weapons are the ones that have the more pluses to them. So like a short sword would just be a +1, longsword would be like a +2, a warhammer would, like just a regular warhammer would be a +1. The double-sided or the great warhammer would be a +2. That sort of
Okay.
thing.
Do they have a dagger?
Do they have a dagger?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. They actually have several daggers, actually.
And they're +1s.
Yes, they would be +1s.
That's
Those are
okay. I
small.
like +1s.
Yeah, it gives you something. Now,
What is the price range on the dagger?
The dagger would actually be, I'll say 1K, 1,000 gold. Just because it's not a whole lot of material used for it.
well, here it says you got 4,000. Oh, that's not on you.
No, I don't have it on me.
No. Oh, we can spot you.
I just got through saying that.
I know, but you have 1,300 with a line through it, so. So as like the Warhammer, it's blessed. It'll shrink down to my size.
The two-sided one?
Yeah,
That one would run you about 6K.
and it's a +2.
Yes.
2 hit, 2 damage.
Yes.
There's just one more on both spectrum. That's 6K. Ooh. Does it have an emblem of the crater on it?
They all do. They all have like a chiseled out like symbol on
Okay,
them in some
all right.
way.
So there's a holy symbol on it. That's good. 6K. I don't know if I have 6K on me. I doubt it.
The helmet itself, the helmet is 5K. The breastplate is one that's like the 10K range.
Is there any extra, like, effect for it being made of Ethereum that is notable?
What's that?
I guess the question is, it being made of Ethereum, does that do anything?
It helps you empower it stronger in the future.
It allows you to apply more empowerments to it. I will say there are some hidden effects to these items just because they only have low-end simple empowerments on them. Until they're maxed out, they will have these other effects applied to them. And some of them keep
Keep the effect after they
the
go.
effect even after being maxed out.
Is that like ice and fire?
I had to see if I can find a picture of my sheet.
It's something different.
Cancer?
No. It's useful.
Oh,
It's
okay.
useful.
All right.
It's useful. It may not seem like much, but let me tell you, when you
Yeah.
need it helps.
Yeah, I mean, we have finances, but they're just not here. I don't know what the other people have on them, which
We
is
could come back in the new future.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I only have 400 gold pieces on me. So.
Yes, I do not have enough
Yeah.
on hand.
Is extra effect something that could be we could understand if we use identify?
Well, it seemed like Avi was cutting through the Nagumba pretty good.
I'll say yes. If you used identify, you would know what the extra effect is.
Right.
Yes.
But we should do that after we get finances come here and then be choosers then.
Alright, sounds good. We probably ought to get moving so that way we can
Yeah, old
eat
Chuckles.
Chuckles.
We have problems with Chuckles.
Yeah.
There's 2 Chuckles going around here.
People that laugh
You
are
see
bad.
during
Yeah.
during this whole back and forth, you do see Mikkel eyeing the chest plate a bit, and then you see him go over and pull out out of his
Purse.
pouch,
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
out another pouch,
Yeah.
and essentially set it down on the desk,
Mhm.
and takes the breastplate.
Oh, jeez, I'm
That's nice. I knew I should have shook him up by his feet when he was on the ground. Boy, Mikkel, that's a pretty hefty purchase you just did.
Yes, well,
It pays well with the creator.
what's the right word? Where I come from, it's
Family
in
is
my
rich.
background. I did have a life before I was a paladin of the creator.
What's your superpower? Money.
I'm rich.
He's Batman!
Reference.
Not totally off point,
Yeah,
but at the
yeah.
same time, not currently. But
Yeah.
Like I said, he had a life before he was a paladin of the creator. We'll
So you
just
can't say,
that.
get a life. I already had one. Yeah, okay, alright. Yeah. Alright.
Alright. Wow, I keep forgetting Kelly.
Okay.
Alright, let's do this.
Yeah. Can you put that on layaway?
What
Okay.
is layaway?
Yeah. Lay far away from me, but no one else gets it.
If you would like one of these items, I'm willing to front the cost for an additional item if one of you is interested in one. I can't get one for everyone, but if one of you particularly is interested in one or needs more protection or a better weapon, I'm more than happy to help out a fellow adventurer and fellow follower of the creator if need be.
Spot us and we'll pay you back.
No, you don't need to pay me.
Oh.
I am fine.
Anyone else wish to venture? I mean, I'd like to get a
There is
hammer
no-
of another
I was
book.
just
There are no
interested in maybe
bows
having a dagger.
Made
But
of this
Yeah,
material.
not flexible.
There are arrows that have tips made of
Yeah,
this
that-
material.
Shoot trees with it, whatever. Okay. All right, what'd you say, Sybil?
I was just interested in a dagger, but I mean, I can come back later.
I'd be happy to get a hammer right now. That's fine.
You want to
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah. I've had this one for a long
Have
time.
an objection to Dwarven getting the hammer?
No objections.
Yeah.
Wow,
No, that's
we'll have a hammer.
Okay. No abstaining.
Okay.
All
So
members
you
say
get
aye.
A double-headed warhammer,
Okay.
+2, and it is made of Ethereum. I will give you an item card for this, but I will just let you know what it does, because I'm
Okay.
assuming you're just going to bond to it.
I'm gonna hug it.
So it is a +2. It does also 1d6 lightning damage on hit. And the number that you need for a crit is lowered by 1 because of the material that it is made of.
Okay.
Nice. That's good.
Okie dokie. I definitely thank Mikkel again for his generosity.
It is helpful.
And this will definitely be used as mightily as I can for the treasure.
Well, that is all that I ask. And again, I know we've only known each other for a short time, but I feel like our paths crossed for a reason, and that we were meant to cross paths, and that perhaps our paths will meet again. But I'm happy to help out and use the wealth that I have been granted to help others as well. So,
And the wealth in general is the creator's anyways. Okay.
alright, so Brolden ends up leading you guys behind the altar and against the
I'm not that kind of guy.
and into it almost seems like he's leading you into like a broom closet type deal, like off to the side, and opens the door and essentially moves some things out of the way, and then you see him feel around on the wall there for a bit, and then he finds this spot and he presses in on it, and you see the wall move out of the way, and you see a set of stairs that go down. He ends up leading you guys down, and you essentially are doing this spiral staircase. You go down about 2 floors and find yourself in a small chamber, and in the center there is this stand with a metal, small like metal prongs there on the bottom, holding this similar looking shard of the crown, similar to what you guys saw all the way back in the ziggurat, but seems like it is the other half of the crown. And he goes over, and there is a piece of fabric that is already like preemptively like hanging there on like a hook on the side of this stand there, stand in the middle of the room, and he picks that up and puts it over the shard. He grabs it, and it's like, okay, did you guys have somewhere that you wanted to put
I'll
this?
hold out the hanky of holding,
Okay.
and I'll just kind of like lay it out in my hands flat and be like, go ahead and just set it on here.
It'll engulf it.
And he does so.
And then I'll just hold it up.
Okay. And you watch as the
Fold it.
handkerchief folds up, and the crown shard is now in the handkerchief.
That was easy.
What?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll give it to Brolden. Is that his name?
Yeah, Brolden.
Yes.
Alright, here you go.
Put it in your pocket.
Takes it in,
No?
puts it in a pants pocket.
Mm-hmm. Now let's be on our
Okay,
way.
let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's be on our way to. Well,
No.
unless you have to
Oh.
close everything up.
Yes,
Ring,
yes,
ring, Galunga, we're on our way.
Yeah,
Went back up and closed everything
Yeah.
off.
granted. So that way they don't know what happened. Okay.
So you guys return and find yourself back in the main hall. If you want to not do the portal or whatever in the main hall, and you want to
No.
go in his study
Yes.
instead, we can do
Yes.
that. But
Yeah.
you guys find
Yeah.
a spot that is private, and you guys use the portal and show up back in the living
And we
tree
called
forest.
Galandra first.
Yeah,
And
we.
you call Galandra first, and show up
Yes.
in the living tree forest. Where in the living tree forest are we looking to pop in at?
Well, since I called Galandra, she would tell me where to meet her.
I guess she would ask, I guess, where, like the initial spot that she would suggest is essentially where she like popped you guys in at using her long range thing.
Well,
like
we don't want like everybody to,
Yeah.
you know, no. It's more like a
Go behind a
secret
shop
and
or
like
somewhere.
Hey everyone, we're here.
Yeah, is it? They have a park area or something on the side where they have
Yeah,
like
a back door.
where they have like a
You can
pavilion
hide
or
it.
something.
On the
dwarf.
outskirts of the
Other town. Yeah.
You can do that. Too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So she meets you on the western
All right.
outskirts of town.
Mm-hmm.
Takes you a little bit popping in, and you eventually look around. You look around and eventually find her. And she's like,
Oh,
"Okay, so
wait, hold on. Pause, wait.
Pause, wait.
Wait. Hi, it's me, I'm raising my hand.
Yes.
You know that thing that you had, that you brought down here that keeps people from teleporting? Did we take that with us?
No.
No, it's a door. Okay.
No, it's
Got
not a
it.
door.
He just sealed the door so no one can come in.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask. Okay.
Okay, no, it wasn't that. Okay, so we're there.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
see you for dinner.
Okay, so we introduced Galandra and
did it.
Golden. Yeah, I did it. I had to think really hard. And introduce them. And let her know this is from the
Doesn't
city
matter.
of Khazad.
No, it doesn't. You know, it doesn't.
Zar.
No.
Think like Khazad Doom
Yeah.
from
But
Lord of the Rings,
Zar.
but Zar at the end.
Okay.
There he is.
All right. He's from the mountains. He's a dwarf.
A Russian door.
Yes, and he has a very important artifact that we want to keep secret.
She already is eyeing him like immediately when you guys like show up and you see each other because you are walking around with a dust dwarf.
Yeah.
So she's already a little like,
That's what?
Yeah.
who is this guy? And
Yeah, we do.
why is Kindred walk? Like, is he a prisoner? Like, is
Yeah.
he the artifact? Is he
Yeah.
a thing of interest?
He might be an
Oh.
artifact.
Am I locking him
Yeah.
away? Like, what's going on here?
Nah.
So
This is our buddy.
But you explain the situation and okay. Well, if looking to hide the artifact is what your aim is, that is something that we can definitely do, or at least attempt to do.
Well, that's what hiding is.
As for giving it to the
Keeper?
keeper of the tree, or the watcher, or
Mm-hmm.
Southwind, probably won't work. But we are secluded here in the Living Tree Forest, and we are capable as well. So also we have the element of not surprise, but you have moved it from where it was last seen, so there is that as well.
Oh, he's
Yes.
putting it on us.
Ignorance is
But as for
best.
giving it to Southwind and having him keep it in the tree, that I don't think that he would be
Keen?
keen on that yet.
Doesn't like to be used.
Okay, that's fine. Just an idea.
That's most of our life. Okay. And
But as for leaving it here, and if you wish for us to take it and guard it and whatnot, that is
Yeah,
something we
you can
do.
work with him and talk about what you want to do. We probably shouldn't know where it is.
yeah, it's
Like where you
best we don't
finally end
know
up
either.
putting it. Don't tell us.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah, so that we'll leave that between you and I forgot his name.
Bralden.
Again. I'm bad at names.
Bralden.
Bralden.
You need a name
with
tag.
Bralden
You
to
need
talk
a
about
name
that.
tag. Yeah. Okay.
This is what happens when I don't write it down.
It's all right.
Oh, that's it.
Okay. So that's what we'll do. We'll leave it to them two
Yeah.
to find a safe, secure place in the Living Tree Forest, and then we can take him back. Portal's open right now.
Oh,
If
I
they
just
do it
thought
really
you
fast,
would
we
stay
can.
here.
But it's up to him if he wants to stay here or not.
Yeah, he can stay here. He can go back. I mean, it's up to
I
Delonte.
would
but,
prefer.
yeah.
I would like to not leave my.
I perished. Yeah. Group.
I mean, it's his charge.
Yeah,
I figured
yeah.
you'd want to stay in
Mhm.
charge.
Yeah. But he trusts. So, but he still has commitments. So that'll work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you
All right.
hand the. Are you taking the item out of the handkerchief and handing it to Galandra, or how are we exchanging?
No.
We like the hanky.
Nah. No. I do like the hanky, but you'd have to have something to like drop it
Put it
into
in.
or
Yeah.
switch it out with.
Yeah. Do they have something to put
And
it in?
I don't
Because
have anything right
we
now.
explained it.
Yeah,
It
the
is
Tree Haven would have stuff like that.
okay. So we would dump it into another bag of
Okay.
holding. That
Yeah,
they would have.
we can.
Yeah. Then they can
yeah.
bury it under a tree and whatever. That's okay. All right. All right. Then we can take Bralden back. Okay. And again, tell him if we need to get a hold of you, we know you enough. We could use a sending stone, talk to you, and then
Wow, you have one of those? I have not had the pleasure of using one of those. I heard stories though.
Oh, they're
from-
fun.
At least from my grandfather, told my father, and he told me. But
then you may have mine as a
Oh, I
token.
couldn't.
Oh no, you are a very secure area, and it's hard for you to reach out if you needed help. I want you to take this.
are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. Takes it.
Because you already know Galandra.
Okay.
So that's important. You know us, and we can pop in and out if you need us to. It's very important to us.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes.
It'd be nice to be able to have conversations occasionally with the outside world.
Okay. All right. So we'll call it a day, and we're going to get out of your hair, and we're going to divert to another place to get the
Let's go blow
eyes
up a
in another
ship.
direction. Oh, I'm with her.
Oh, big kabloomies.
Yeah.
Kabloomies!
Okay. All right.
We have some
That's what
barrels
the
of
ranger
gunpowder
can do.
just laying around. I'm ready to
Kabloomies.
use them.
We do. Hey, do we want to walk and find and see if we excuse me, we can run into Irvar real quick? If he's just hanging around the gates and
where?
stuff. The dwarf that apparently gave us up that laughs a lot. If we could find him real quick.
To do what? What are we gonna do with him?
I don't know. Use your imagination.
Yeah, use your
Walk a little bit.
imagination. Yeah.
You think we're gonna find him though?
You don't know unless you look. He was easily waiting at the gate for some unknown reason.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, word didn't get that fast. Oh yeah, let's spring the trap. The high rich people are bringing him over here. I mean, did
Alright,
he
we
stand
can go back
around
and
there
look
for
for
like
him, I
1,000 years?
Okay. Oh, does that mean that there's a real one of these people and he's like
Look
beat
at
up or
doppelganger.
dead somewhere? That would stink.
Yeah, where's his
Uh,
address? We'll look him up.
Lacrum.
So
Yeah, we should go. Oh shoot, we should go find his house and make sure he's not like dead.
The real Irvar was
Yeah.
never alive.
yeah,
It's a
there you
real
go.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we don't know of anyone
Oh,
like that.
oops.
Yeah, I mean even
Yeah. Well, everyone said him.
the sage
the people
knew
we
him.
asked walking by
And the guys at the
restaurant
door knew him. So that's what I mean. There's some
He's a
validity
real
to that.
person.
Yeah. So we
So
want to
there's
find
a real
it.
one somewhere.
Yeah. So we'll ask
We gotta
around.
go find the real one.
Yeah,
Oh,
at the
shoot.
gate where we ran into him originally and
Yeah.
everything. Where can we find Irva?
Yeah, we'd like to thank him
Your
for
yeah.
the great day.
Yeah.
Where can we find him at his home?
So
Yeah,
there you go.
that kind of deal.
Okay, so you're just asking random people on the street?
Well, he was by the
No,
guards.
go
He was
back to the
handed
door
off
specifically.
by
Yeah.
the.
So you want to go back to the gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
I would love to roll a persuasion check.
Oh, it's an 11.
Someone roll me a persuasion check. 11 out of 20.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, that'd be terrible for me. I'm a
I'd
13.
love to roll a persuasion
Yeah.
check.
Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah,
Yep.
Urvar. Haven't seen him since you all came through.
Neither have we. We'd like to find him
We're concerned.
and thank him for the great tour he gave us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Could you
well,
point us in the direction of where he lives?
He lives closer to the southeastern corner, almost right next to the gate for the.
Number 3?
Yes, but I was going to say the.
So if we ask the gate people near number 3, they could give us more specific directions.
Probably more than likely.
Okay. Thanks. Can I get your name so I could tell them that you sent us?
Yeah. For
Yes.
validity. Fred?
Gerdal. Gerdal.
Alright. We pop down to the gate near number 3 and tell them Gerdal sent us to
Yeah.
inquire about the house of the Chuckles.
Okay. Oh, of course. Well, Urvar's home is just a block down this way, and it'll be on your right hand side. Kind of describes the building to you.
Okay.
what to
Doesn't
look
have a number, like number 12.
No.
No mail down here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's fine.
Well, we'll try and find it.
So you follow his directions, and it's not hard to pick out the house that
Mhm.
he describes to you. Go up, knock on the door.
Sniff, sniff.
Smells.
Girdle.
Smells like home.
Irvar home?
You do not smell the scent that you did for the person you were chasing, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
asking.
You don't smell that.
Do we
Alright.
hear wife
Or why
and
not?
kids crying and
No.
do you smell food? Okay. Is it unlocked?
Okay, you knocked, right?
No, it is not unlocked.
It is not unlocked. So it's locked.
It is locked.
It is locked. This is not unlocked. Do we see footprints like
It
it's
is
been
locked.
walked in recently?
Not recently. I mean, it's you know, like well trodden and whatnot. Like somebody's been going in and out of here daily.
Oh, okay. All right. Windows?
Are there any
There is
windows?
a window slightly to the left, like you have
To the door,
and there's
yeah.
like a foot and a half, 2 feet, and then there's
Yeah.
a window.
Yeah.
And then there's a second floor to that has a window that you can see.
Okay.
Did
You-
I look in the window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look in there and
Okay.
beside like the light coming from like the street and whatnot, you don't see any light on the inside, but it looks just like you would expect for a dwarven home.
Can you go underneath it? It's not out like
Is the
on
window like open?
stilts or anything?
No.
It's
it's-
okay. All right. Yeah, any of the windows open? Like for air, you know?
No.
Chimney?
There is a chimney.
You want to send Festus down?
Sure. He likes going through chimneys.
He does.
He loves that.
Just not when there's a fire at the bottom.
He'll survive.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
talked to me about that
Yeah.
last night and was like, stop that.
He's still going through, yeah, gotcha. All right, okay.
Alright, so send Festus up, down the chimney,
Yeah.
into the home. Anything specific we're having to do? Look around?
He's looking for something alive.
We're just looking around. We're looking for
Yeah.
anything out of order.
It looks like a home that is lived in and nobody's home.
No, does he have like does he have a bedroom? And would he have like a pinned up board and then it has names and stuff on it and organized triangulation? and
There
stuff?
is, like, he goes up to the second floor,
Mhm.
and there is a door that is closed, but all the other, like, he's
He's
able
gonna
to
peck
access
on
pretty
it.
much most of the house,
But that one's
except
closed.
for this one room that has a closed door to it.
Alright. He's gonna like peck on the door.
Okay.
Where the handle is?
The closed one that he can't get in.
Yeah. Does the door sink? Oh, you only have one companion, right?
I've only got the one.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, it's the only thing.
I know.
If you had two, you'd be a real cleric. Okay. Okay.
No response, no nothing.
No, nothing.
I mean, without hurting something. I mean,
Can he see under the door at all?
is there a gap, like
There's
2
a
inches?
little bit of a gap.
He's a little bird. Can he like?
No, it's like that, like not even.
No,
a
I just
quarter
mean can he
inch.
see under the gap? Is
Oh,
what I mean.
yeah. I mean, the sense that he gets is it looks like it's a living space, like a bed, a desk, chair.
We've done this
you
to
know, that
houses
kind of thing.
before. So,
Yeah, but this one isn't like completely packed out of like the last one in Kings Harbor.
no.
The last one there was like nothing in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a stage area.
This one has like stuff in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to act like breaking the law and stuff like that around here. I mean, so.
No, I could take it down.
It's too bad we don't have somebody that could like blink in somewhere, you know, through line of sight.
Like
or something.
Ray
I'll
Log?
bet you I could take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times a day can you do that?
I don't remember.
3?
I don't have the item card.
Yeah. What was
I
it,
think
3?
it's 4.
Oh,
4?
blink inside.
Let's go for 5. Yeah. Well,
I'm pretty sure it's 4.
you want to do that, Raylog?
You want to pop in?
You can pop in the upstairs through the
popping in?
window. Because you,
And then what am I doing?
well, you're investigating
Open the door,
the room that the bird can't get into.
or you,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
How about you just pop in
or you could just open the
into
door.
room on the other side
Is,
of the first floor window, open the door, and you all can come inside?
Yeah, it's upstairs.
That's what I just said. You could open the door.
Okay. Do we know if anyone's in it?
No, we don't.
No one's inside
Alright,
that
so-
we know of.
All right, so you're doing the
Okay.
on the first floor, blinking in, then going upstairs and opening up the door.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll blink up. Or can I just, so why do I need to go to the second floor? Can I just blink to the other side of the door that we're trying to get into?
Well, you need line of sight.
You-
There's a window on the first
Well, yeah, you just can't go through the door. That's what I was just saying.
Oh.
Oh. Well then, how about I just go to there, and then I go to unlock the door.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sneaking over to the door, make sure there's nothing,
Yeah.
no one in the area.
All right, that's good.
Okay. Opens the
Okay.
door, unlocks it. It's,
There you go.
opens the
Yeah,
door.
yeah. Okay. All right, then we'll go upstairs, and Sybil can pick the lock of the door upstairs.
Who said it was locked? I just had a bird that can't open a door.
Then awesome. Just open the stinking door. All right.
Yeah, the door is closed,
Okay.
but it's not locked.
Okay. It just needed a human.
Aha.
Should have had a monkey for your companion. Okay.
Look, man.
All right. Keep going.
Alright, open the door.
Walk in, and it's a nice bedroom.
That's nice. Did it look like he slept in it last night?
Bed's not made.
Oh, Westlaw. Anything written on the walls, on paper, or anything? Does he have a desk?
Yeah, there's a desk.
Anything
Alright,
interesting
guess
on
we're
the
going
desk?
through the desk.
Not on the desk, no.
How about in the drawers? If we open
We're
that
going
and look
in the
under the
desk.
drawers and all over the place on the back
Roll
side.
some investigation
All right,
checks.
all right,
Hi, guys.
all
I was
right.
waiting
I'm
for
gonna re-roll that
roll
one.
an investigation
Yeah.
check to see.
All right. Well,
That's what I was waiting for.
there's a 1.
Oh, I don't. No, that looks like an 11 to me.
Yeah, it does. That's a 15 for me, but I'm gonna re-roll that. That's an 11.
Okay.
But
Alright.
Sybil got a
Roll
1.
for me.
I did. You were the first one to
Oh,
roll.
I got a 1.
Yeah, you got a 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I re-rolled my 15 and got an 11.
Okay. Couple different things that you find. You do find a trunk underneath the bed that is locked.
Not anymore.
You also find in the desk you find a couple, not letters, but
Ooh, we gotta hurry up.
like look like written orders.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
They go in the backpack.
and you also find in a compartment on the desk that is hidden and kind of like drops down out of the
yeah.
desk
Mhm.
a notebook that has various different types of notes in it, watching certain individuals and different
Mhm.
patterns
So he's a
that
spy.
they do
Yeah.
daily and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the box that pulled up from the bottom, we can pick that.
Mhm.
Okay. Do we have to roll for that right now?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. All right. This is for
Alright.
me.
Do it. Roll my dexterity.
I failed. Okay. You do it for your
Just roll my
dexterity.
dexterity.
All right. That's a 9. That's definitely a pass.
That's well lower than 21.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Open up the case and you find inside a cloak along with a whole set of
What are you looking for?
whole like outfit,
Yeah.
so to speak. And you, as you're like pulling stuff out, you find that this seems to be like a false top
Yeah.
of sorts, and you pull that out and off to the side. And looking down in this briefcase, it's like looking into like a bottomless pit almost similar to like a bag of holding,
Right.
of sorts,
Right.
or a backpack of holding.
Yeah. Does it feel evil? Like it's enchanted?
Not enchanted, it feels empowered.
Empowered, like green empowered.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yes, another green thing for us to put things in.
Okay, we close it up, put it in our backpack,
Like satchels.
and we need to get going.
Yes, uh-huh.
yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we got secret thing, we got his armaments, and we didn't notice anything else in the room. Or we sit and wait for him, jump
we
him.
can wait for him to come home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can do that too. But we already got his stuff.
Yeah, but he's gonna know we were here and he'll know it was us.
Well, yeah. All right. So
So I
we'll
might as well just wait for him.
we'll sit and wait for him and ambush him and all fun stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll
That
pick
one.
it up from there. Then.
That is where we will pick up next time.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.